Grapsody with Will, Phil, and Reg, trying to keep it real instead of what you usually get from these talking heads. It's Grapsody, we're here to fill the void. 3 black fans, different perspective, gotta fill your voice. Coming with the podcast, talking majors, indies in between. Yeah, it's all that, and we're down with Fightful, better fall back. Coming for respect, we connect like a ball bat. No need to double check, these are all facts. You're listening to what's Talk Raps. You're listening to what's Talk Raps. Will, Phil, and Reg. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps. Yeah, we're Grapsody, here to talk raps.
Boys is in the building, man. Trying to restore the feeling out here. New York, we're back in the building, man. Just trying to let y'all know, man. Restoring the feeling, man. Thought we was out of here when the other guy came back. 2 redheads are still in the building, man.
Wow. Hey, yo, they thought they was going to get your boys out of here.
Thought we was done pimping, man.
They thought hard.
Pimping, man. Where was your antennas when we was in LA? Trying to tell y'all, man. Where was you at when we brought the Tigers in, bro?
Let's go, baby.
Just
starting
saying,
out with
man.
them flex bombs on them. This is the only way, man. It's Grapsody. They really thought they were going to get us out of here.
Really thought we was
Will
done,
Washington
man.
was gone. Oh, Will Washington is gone. Grapsody is over. There's no way those guys can sustain this.
Shout to Funk Flex, man. Flex would jump in like, man, shout to E, bro. Screaming at you at noon.
Shout out to Funk Flex, one of the greatest of all time. Just
man.
Crazy. Speaking of hip hop radio hosts, have you been keeping up with this Rick Ross and DJ Envy beef? Because I watched a little bit of the Drink Champs, and they get into Rick Ross is having a car show or some shit, and so immediately Nori's like, "Oh, what's up with DJ Envy? Are you compete with him?" And Ross is like, "That fool, you know, Ross can't fuck with me. It's Ross, it's the boss." And so now they're in this they're in this feud over cars, and so like they keep doing this back and forth video. Envy's argument was awful. He got on the radio and was like, "You rent your mansion out like an Airbnb. You had Coming to America 2 film." I'm like, that's a flex more than that's
what I was about to say. Listen, man. I don't know what he's talking about. That's kind of hard. Like,
ain't that hard?
I don't know, man.
I'm like, what kind of an argument is this against? I'm like, think this is an argument for Rick Ross, and Ross is just man. Like, all your cars are rented, you know, rapper shit.
That ain't really do it for me, Envy. You gotta come back with a better one, man. Because Ross could just come back like, nah, man. House so big, had to rent it out for the real Prince, man.
Come on,
come on,
yo, come on.
Oh man,
come on.
Oh man, you are rocking with the best though, man. This is Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. With me as always is Righteous Reg, man.
It's your boy Righteous Reg, your favorite rapper, your favorite writer, your favorite podcaster, media man. Very happy to be back on a Saturday. Always got a lot of wrestling to talk about. Some AEW news, some video game. Well, maybe we'll get into a little bit of video game talk too. I just forgot mentioning before we talked about our topics today on the show. So yeah, it's been interesting. Maybe we should really start out with the elephants in the room.
We'll get to it, man. I just
it's a good elephant in the room. I was gonna start with basketball. I don't want to start.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant the other stuff that's going on.
Nah.
But no, man. The good news in the world is, man.
The good elephant in the room.
I don't know, man. Just like they thought you was gonna get these guys out of here, man. Thought they was gonna get that guy from Marquette up out of here, man. Jimmy G. Butler's still in the building, man.
Buckets has been talking some shit too. This is like when you talk about like oozing confidence, dripping swag, drip, whatever you want to talk about. Jimmy Butler is locked into that right now. The way that he's walking, the way that he's moving, the way that, as you can see with Phil's new header, the way that he's moving out there is on another level, 100%.
Listen, man. I seen how he tried to get at my guy, man. I seen how Grant tried to seeing how he tried to do my guy. He ain't learned no lesson when other people tried, man. Listen, man. Man, lesser people have tried to get my guy up out of here, man.
That's a fact. That's a
And
fact.
as soon as I seen that smirk rise across his face, I knew what time it was, man. And I mean, the game literally changed from that point on. It's not like, the Heat weren't in this game. The Heat were in the game all the way up to the third quarter, and Tatum started going nuts in the third quarter. I was like, all right, well, looks like Boston's going to win this thing because looked like they were about to get him out of here. But that fourth quarter came, and Grant had to stick his nose in somebody else's business, man. And Jimmy was like, nah. I think the best thing about it, though, is not just him doing all of that and winning the game, but just that visual of him walking out of the garden like, man, they can't have thought that was the answer, man. They have to know better, right? They can't have thought that was the answer. That visual of him walking down that hallway out of the garden, and all the fans on the side couldn't even say anything because, he cooked your team 2 games in a row in the garden, bro.
What are you gonna say? You can't talk to Jordan's son like that. Is what we learned. Listen, the MJ spirit is in his young boy. You talk crazy like this, Phil. Haven't any of these guys learned within this playoff that? Let's take Dylan Brooks for example. Don't talk shit. Don't look crazy. Just be about it. You got to produce because the person that you think is old or whatever on the other side is going to produce, and that's exactly what your homeboy Jimmy Buckets did. They've been counting Jimmy Buckets out. I was gonna say all forever, but like just count this season. Let's just count the playoffs and how he started and where he's at now, potentially on his way to the NBA Finals. Man, they can't get that young boy out of here.
I mean, this is a legendary run for this dude. Yeah. This is a legendary playoff run. Like, this is like some of what makes playoff basketball fun. Like growing up, just like the matchups, man, and like I think that's what made the Warriors Sacramento series fun too, because it was just like, it's just dudes hooping, man, and Jimmy's out here hooping, man. The stat I saw last night, I couldn't even believe it. Like I had to like look it up to confirm this is true. But as you know, this guy lost in the first round of the play-in tournament. Made the playoffs, and since then the Heat are 10-3 in the playoffs.
Oh my God! They've only lost 3 games.
They are 10-3 in the playoffs. Still have not lost a game on their home floor in the playoffs.
Oh my God!
You are now looking at Jimmy Butler and the Miami Heat heading back to South Beach, where they're undefeated. Yeesh. Boston's in trouble, man. I don't want to say the series is over yet. We've seen crazier things, but Boston's in trouble, man.
We have seen wilder things, but I don't know. It's looking tough.
Boston's in trouble, man. Because look, I mean, best case scenario, they split going in Miami, but you still got to pick up 3 more wins, man. I'm gonna assume Heat in 5 now.
Yeah.
I think Heat. This is over with, man. I kind of would like to see it go 6 or 7 just to get a series out of it, but. It's not looking good for Boston, man.
How do you feel about these people? There's a lot of people online being like, oh, if the Heat win and the Nuggets win, they're going to put it on NBA TV and blah, blah, blah. And like, it's like, isn't it? Don't we want the best basketball teams in the finals? We don't want just the celebrity, because that's what it's all about. Like, there's no LeBron, there's no Steph, there's no this, there's no that. No, we want the hardest working, the teams that have been going nose to the goddamn grind all year in the finals, playing to see who's the best, not like who can fucking Skip talk about the most on his TV show.
Speaking of which, man, listen, I seen all of the talk, man. We've watched this, and B won that MVP. Guy didn't even make the all NBA first team. Listen, man, Nikola Jokic is that guy, bro. If y'all was one of those dudes hating all year, y'all gotta give it up, man.
This is like a perfect example of the white people say it a lot, but this was reverse racism. 100%. Listen, we just gonna have to keep it real, because Jokic earned this championship, and they was like, "Nah, we can't get no white boy this championship. We got to let Embiid get his shit off. Look, let the boy get 3 in a row." He's cooking. Like, it's like they can't stop this guy. He's running through like a goddamn freight train, and it's crazy.
Just for the record, reverse racism is not a real thing. not a real thing. But no, there was definitely some stuff going on with my man that wouldn't give this guy the credit because he's white. Honestly, this guy should be 3-time MVP.
Come on.
And he is looking like if he wins this series, he's gonna be the second Western Conference MVP anyway.
Facts. Yeah.
But no, man, Denver showed out, man. Listen, man. I seen all the talk. I seen after their first game, oh, they figured something out, man. They put Rui on him, man. They put Rui on him, and that's the secret.
No.
We got this 40-point game from AD. We're nah. Bronzo. Listen, man. I seen him go out for that dunk, bro. Couldn't even keep his hands on it, bro. Listen, man. I seen him trying to throw out the Steph Curry shots in the fourth quarter, man.
Damn.
We don't need none of that, bro. Rui was always cooking. You just
LeBron.
listen, man. Be a playmaker, bro. Be a playmaker. You ain't got to do all that. You ain't got to take them threes like that. We don't need all that, bro. I'm just saying, man. I seen the hate for Denver. Oh, I think we can beat Denver. I heard it all. Yeah. Oh, I think we can beat Denver. They're number 1 seed, but they're the weakest number 1 seed. Nah, Nikola Jokic. Stop playing with him. I gotta go up like this because Will Washington is not here, man.
Facts. And I send my man his trophy, bro. You fronting.
Listen, man, I gave my man all of the smoke early into this year. Oh, are you afraid of Phoenix? Are you afraid of Phoenix? No.
Absolutely not.
No.
Like, I'm afraid of the Phoenix Sun, but I'm not afraid of the Phoenix Suns. I'm afraid of being hot, but I ain't afraid of them niggas that are about to ball because we about to send them home. They at home now watching the game. Nah, Denver was not playing. And also funny this week is Lakers fans going with this altitude thing like, of course, the Nuggets are going to win at home because they're used to the being up high and shit. Like, come on, you guys. Like, come on. With the excuses, this is crazy. Now y'all using MMA excuses and shit. Like, I trained down here. I ain't trained for Denver altitude and air and shit. Like, come on, you guys. Like, just take your L like everybody else did, and everybody else. So you're lucky to even be in this position, to be in the fucking Western Conference Finals. You paid somebody else. Somebody got some money. Something's crazy out here.
Listen, man, I said last series too, man, these dudes shoot a lot of free throws, bro. Yeah. I seen how it started going in that first game. They started shooting all the free throws in the second half. Wasn't really working. This game, they shot a lot of free throws, but I think this was a winnable game for the Lakers. All jokes aside, I think the second game was a winnable game, but nah, man. Playoff Murray came in that fourth quarter, man, and put in work, man. Once he started,
Murray said, "Quit playing with me too."
He did, man. He evoked the light skinned spirit of Will Washington to get to my body, man. 2-0, man. I seen how Mike Malone talked before the game too. He was saying, "Yeah, man, they figured something out. They every sports show you saw this week talking about the Lakers, talking about us, not talking about how Jokic just had 13 straight games with triple doubles. None of that." He was like, "Man, what are you gonna with that? Put this in your pipe and smoke it. We gonna go up 2-0, and then went up 2-0."
Oh my god.
Talk, Mike. Talk.
Hey, yo. Nah, Nuggets are not fucking around. Nuggets watched a couple of our Grapsody podcasts and like, oh, these niggas are playing with us too on here. Not Will Washington, but these other niggas are playing. But they came to ball, and it looks they're on their way, man. It's going to be tough if the Miami Heat do get through the Celtics, which is looking like it's going to be tough for them in the finals, man. The Nuggets are not playing around.
Yeah, I actually think that's going to be a good series. I think man, it's tough to say LA Celtics would not be an interesting series. I don't want to see that because
for the history.
I mean, the history and the rivalry and everything, yeah, but I feel like the Lakers would win that series. I just don't trust Boston. But it probably would be a fun series. I think Heat Lakers would be fun just for a rematch. I think
LeBron, the Heat, yeah, there's some storyline over there.
Yeah, I think Nuggets Heat could be interesting. I think Nuggets Celtics can be good. So I'm here for either matchup. I don't have a real dog in this race. I'm really rooting for Jimmy as a fan from Chicago since when he was drafted here. Not just as somebody that always thought that was a bad trade. Listen, man, it's time to just admit it. We
Mhm.
made a bad trade. I like Levine as much as the next guy, but he ain't got that dog in him like Jimmy, man.
No, Jimmy is a fighter. He's going down swinging, and you could put the game on his back. And anytime you got a player like that, you could put the game on his back. You can't replicate
Yeah,
that
man,
in anybody else.
You can't match that guy's energy, man.
Mhm.
I had a great time laughing at all of this stuff last night of him not only talking trash throughout the game, talking trash after the game, during the press conference where he said, "Man, I don't know, man, I ain't the best one to talk to." I was like, I like that, man. I like
And
that energy, bro.
we got the next game back in Miami. Oh yeah.
Bro, I like that energy, bro. I love it.
It's amazing
Man.
to see, man.
Man, but you know the deal. Of course, as usual, if you want to send us super chats, you can. If you want to send us your humper chats, that's humperchats.com/Fightful.
Yep.
Think I have our humper chats up.
Yep.
I'm sitting here.
We can get into a couple super chats too. You got them pulled up. I'm gonna go first. This from the homie Wraith. Is it Wraith? Like the car? This is everything I could have wanted for my first AEW show. Meeting Will was a highlight of my night, and watching Strong beat Jericho's ass in front of me. Love you guys. That's the homie that brought the Grapsody sign to the AEW show. Super awesome, man. Like,
Big shout out to Rafe, man. Appreciate it.
yeah, like there's like some little like that would be a cool moment thing that you like have in the back of your mind, like always when you kind of get into spaces like that. Grapsody starts going like, that'd be cool if somebody brought a Grapsody sign to a show. And so to see it and it happen, and then you get to meet Will is like, man, this is so dope, man.
Boys is outside, like I said. I thought we was done, man. I thought we was cooked once Will left here, man. Man, just because Will's that guy in the office, don't mean that the dreadheads that Chance warned you about ain't still in
Come
the
on,
lobby, bro.
you
Stop
know
playing
we
with
was still gonna be wilding. You thought we was gonna stop wilding? Opposite,
Nah.
more wilding.
me.
It's from the homie Van Twin Blade. Today is 10 years since the more OK L5. Tomorrow is Tootie and Miyu kicking the hell out of each other day. Watch Glory Pro. That match with Tootie and Miyu is gonna go crazy. Do you know what this more okay?
I have no idea what that is.
Shout out to the homie Van Twin Blade though, always representing in the building. Our homie Henry T. Casey says, "Who's more likely to get swept, Lakers or the Celtics?"
I think at this point, Celtics, man. I don't think either of them are going to get swept, honestly, but I think Celtics are looking more likely right now.
Yeah, because the games have been pretty close for in this both series, so it's not like any team is getting blown out, and I think both teams are gonna eke out a win somewhere here. Homie Jake Salazar got his name back. LeBron fumbled that win, literally.
Yeah, it's tough to put it all on him. Of course, I do want to get my slander off, but honestly, it is tough to put it all on him. He did take some bad shots down the stretch, but AD didn't play that good either. And I think they've shown several times this year that they kind of live and die with AD.
Yeah.
And so when he doesn't play well, they usually struggle. So
LeBron having fumble dunk viral moment was not on my bingo card, as they say. Listen, in this day and age, but
he's 38 years old, man. He'll be 39 at the end of the year, man. That's around the time when Jordan missed that dunk in Washington. He was about 40, right?
Damn. He said Jordan Washington.
It's crazy, man. It's crazy to think about, man. This guy was drafted the year I finished high school, and to think about like, this dude's career is like winding down. It's crazy to think about.
His career is but and then also on the other side, he could potentially be in the finals still. He's in the Western Conference final after fucking 20 years.
I mean, he could still make the finals. We've seen crazier things happen.
We've definitely seen crazier
We've seen teams go up 3-0 or 3-1 and end up losing the lead, and
we know the script writers are back there, and it's LeBron, the king of the NBA. They could immediately be like, "All right, we're gonna write this. Let LeBron get his moment."
Shout out
the powder in the
Michelle
sky.
Beadle. Michelle Beadle was like the original script called for the Lakers to win, but that damn writer strike, man.
See, now things are making more sense, honestly. Jake also says, bro, Jimmy's a different animal. Once I saw that smirk he gave Grant Williams, I knew game was over at that point. And the game was over at that point.
Nah, man. Stop playing with this guy, man.
D-Lo Diggs says, man, the Heat balling like they a top 4 seed.
That's just still the crazy part about it. This is the 8th seed. I mean, if they win this series, they'll effectively have beat the top 2 teams in the conference in Milwaukee and Boston. That's wild.
Whoever's got their little young FanDuel bets going on are cleaning up right now with the Heats. Chicken Little Curry says, these flex bomb drops are wild. And shout out to Phil for reminding me that Childish Gambino song with the Adele sample.
Yeah, Do You Like His Fire, man. I mean, Cul-de-sac in general. Cul-de-sac is a dope tape, man.
Mm-hmm. Man, I remember those days of that coming out, watching Community and being like, hey, I like this guy on the show, and then Googling him and be like, oh, he's a rapper. And then Cul-de-sac came out like really soon after that, and downloading Cul-de-sac and just being like, man, this guy gets me. But I mean, it's just, you know how like guys like us, when we find guys like that, there was a lot of talk about that this week on Twitter with the debut single thing, and then people were talking about, of course, Lupe and Kick Push, because when Lupe Kick Push came out, it was like, oh shit, it's like, a guy that's talking about some other shit and doing some other things, and like you just kind of connect to rappers like that differently, and that's how I felt when I encountered Gambino and Cul-de-sac.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, Cul-de-sac, if I remember correctly, that's what really got me into Gambino. Of course, Camp was just a perfect album.
Yeah, that's when it was like, all right, let's see what this guy's doing.
Yeah, I think if anybody had doubts about the guy being a rapper and what he could do, Camp was definitely an album. I mean, I don't care how many times I've listened to Camp and I listened to the last song on it. It still is just like, because I think we've all been there. Alternative guys like that, met a girl at that time. We've all been there in some way. Yeah, CG's the man.
Yeah. Shout out to Gambino.
Man, put some more music out, bro. What's going on?
Straight up. Reggie Simmons says, my guy's dropping sound bombs. Hell yeah. Yeah, no, Phil came with that energy today.
Yeah, restore the energy, bro.
That's it for the super chats for now. Appreciate y'all, of course, always for sending in the super chats. Y'all are dope. The comments are always going crazy. One of the best support groups in the world for Grapsody, man.
Yeah. Oh, I've seen people
Fill up.
I have to bring it up. Man, Freaks and Geeks is a banger.
Oh, yeah. I forgot about that EP that he put out. There was a lot of dope songs on that. That was another one that was like, I think that came before Camp, right? He did the EP and then Camp came out. It was like, oh no, yeah, this guy's cooking.
Yeah, the EP's the cover with the right.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Humper chats.
Yeah.
All right, we got a few. Hold on. Let me make sure I got all of them.
Humper chats, baby.
All right. So see, we already got from Halabasana. Phil is always right. This has nothing to do with anything. It's just a fact. I appreciate you, bro.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. It's from Tony P. I know Phil seen me bitch before the playoffs, wanting the Bulls to beat my team because Miami matchup with the Bucks in the first round. I'm glad I was wrong, and damn proud of this team. Nah, man, Miami's on an all-time great run, man.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of crazy that they honestly that they've got here. Everybody counted them out the entire season, and now Jimmy Bucket said, I ain't playing with y'all. Let's go. Let's play some real basketball. I'm loving it.
We got another one from Tony P. Now that the Heat talk is out the way If AEW is forced to open Collision at Daly's place, you think Punk will face consequences, possibly if he says to hell with it over Steel. Also, if she appears in Boston, do you believe that would have been better than in LA? Um, we'll get into the Punk stuff. We'll get into the Punk stuff in a minute. But on the Sasha talk, I don't know. I think I definitely think that crowd is going to respond better in Boston, of course, because that's her hometown. But it's hard to tell if that would have been, because it would have been closer to the beginning of her free agency. I don't know. I'm gonna say Boston probably gonna react better, and then of course we got the New Japan and the starting matches in between that time. So I think people are gonna be more hyped to see her in the U.S. again.
Yeah, I think she might. I think her stock is higher than it would have been then. But as someone who was in that LA crowd, we were so ready for some Mercedes, man. Like it was gonna go off that night. Like people were there. Like you think it's Mercedes? Like the talk, before the show, you're talking to people. The whole energy was on Mercedes, and it was a little deflating as we saw. Remember, they just immediately dropped to like a video package after, and we were just like, damn. So like, yeah, I understand it's gonna go off in Boston if it does happen, but like we were super ready in LA.
Yeah, we got her coming to LA again tomorrow, which we'll get into as well. But
Long Beach, LBC.
Sounds like that's gonna be a dope show. See, we got from Anwar Starwin. Damn, Jimmy Butler treated Grant Williams like Vegeta treated Android 19 and Android Saga. Jokic is definitely gives me Android 16 vibes wise. Have a nice show, guys. Jokic does give me Android 16 vibes now that I think about it, because he's just tall and he's stoic. It is a dope comparison.
He's a beast.
And I'll never stop saying that Jimmy is basically Vegeta. Once he gave that smirk, I was just like, yeah, nah, it's a wrap for y'all, man.
That was a Vegeta ass smirk, though. Cold boy.
Let's see, from Jen, with a very generous Humper chat. Love you, Jets. Proud of all you are doing. Can't catch live due to life again, but know I am always supporting. Appreciate you as always, Jen.
Jen, you're the best. You're amazing as always. Every time you send us support and love, we appreciate it so much.
See, from Matt Raquel. I think I'm pronouncing your last name correctly. My bad if I didn't. It's my boy Reg and a good Phil from Chicago. Playoff Jimmy is a different beast. I'm going to Collision in Jersey in July. Very excited. Yeah, those dates are coming up, man. Like they because I think we were all expecting them to announce the first date, the June 17th, but they had like the entire slate. So yeah, man, should be interesting.
Things just like, it's crazy because like day by day these things are changing. Like for like huge changes are just like tomorrow something different could happen. It's like it's just funny at this point.
Let's see, from Shot Kid. If this NBA season taught me one thing, it's never listen to Perk's MVP takes. Well, I mean, to give Perk some credit, he did say that the Lakers are probably going to go all the way to the conference finals, and they're there.
He had a couple of points that hit.
Yeah, he also said that Boston probably don't want to see Miami, and looking like he was right about that too. So I'm not the biggest fan of Perk's takes either, but he's looking like he was right about a few things. From the homie D-Lo Diggs, what's up? Gotta ask thoughts on MK1 trailer. Not gonna lie, I'm mixed on it. I thought it was hard. I think the new designs look dope as hell.
Yeah, I thought the whole thing was sick. I didn't play the last one fully, but like Mortal Kombat's always dope, and like for them to start telling stories and get people excited before the shit drops is dope. I think.
Yeah, it seems like they're filming the second movie too. So yeah, a lot to be excited about if you're a Mortal Kombat fan.
On both sides of the our favorite fighting game lives, fucking Mortal Kombat and Street Fighter about to drop at the same time is gonna have people in a frenzy.
Yeah, I think Tekken 8 drops later this year too.
Tekken 2, man, niggas are about to be online. I'm about to get online and fight somebody.
Yeah, big year for fighting games. I think they announced the Dragon Ball game too. I don't know if that comes out this year.
It's crazy. It's crazy out here.
That's all I got from Humper Chats, bro. Unless we got these super chats left.
Yeah, there's a couple more super chats that have came in. Jake Salazar says, nah, Donald Glover's a real life genius. I mean, we've seen it with the music. Atlanta's insane. Excited to see where he goes next now that Atlanta has ended.
Yeah, I wonder if they're still gonna do that Lando show that they talked about for the longest.
That's some money if he gets into that. I'm crossing. I'm stopped. Like, I'm not writing or nothing if I get a show fucking like that. Like, I'm done here, you guys. Like, I'm about to milk this money for the rest of my life. The homie Meet Normus says, rest in peace to Jim Brown. He was great, grateful, and humble in every aspect of his life. We lost a great one.
Yeah, rest in peace to Jim Brown. I'm sure some people feel away. He was accused of some things that are kind of nasty as well.
Yeah.
So, of course, don't want to leave that out. Peace to any women that, may have been affected by that may have had a hard time seeing him lionized yesterday by people. But of course, I'm not into celebrating anybody's death, and he did do some good things in life. He did do some great things for the culture. He is a legendary athlete and an icon in spite of all of those things.
Activist.
So, yeah. And I'm a huge Mars Attacks fan. Hilarious movie to me. So rest in peace to Jim Brown. Rest in peace to superstar Billy Graham as well.
Yes, they were trying to put some slanderous things on Billy Graham too about what he said about Kofi or some shit, and I'm like,
oh yeah, I remember that.
Nah.
I mean, yeah, I didn't like that when he said it either. But again, I'm not for dancing on anybody's grave. I mean, I didn't agree with him when he said that, but still rest in peace to him, and condolences to his family and friends.
That man, if it wasn't for that dude, like, wrestling would be different. I mean, because I got into wrestling, and wrestling got huge because of Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan got his whole swag from superstar Billy Graham. So it's like, who knows if we're positioned, will there ever be a WrestleMania 1 if it wasn't for Hogan? And if it wasn't for Hogan, there wasn't for Billy Graham, there would be no Hulk Hogan. So it's crazy to think the legacy, and that's just one guy that stole his swag. There's a number of people that
all of them are Hall of Famers too.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
all of
everybody that based their career on this guy ended up being one of those guys. So, like, yeah,
gotta get up to him.
Jake Salazar also says Philip Lindsay after the Western Conference Finals. LeBron, while you lay there as uncomfortably as you possibly can, I'd like to have a few things I'd like to get off my chest.
Listen, man. Don't hate the guy. I just despise the idea that he is considered the best.
He is, though, Phil. Come on, man.
Nah, man. Goat from this city that raised this city up on his shoulders and made the United Center the place to be. That's the best. Don't you ever forget it. That is the best.
That little brother skit from their last album, where this niggas hollering. Michael Jeffrey Jordan.
Michael Jeffrey Jordan. The dude, you wear his number. Listen.
I mean,
you tried to rock with his franchise and the movie was trash. That's the best.
I still haven't pulled that one up because I just feel so sad for everybody involved. It's like, damn, why'd y'all reduce Space Jam with LeBron? It's like,
make your own.
Tragic. Make your own franchise, because he keeps rebooting. He rebooted House Party. We buried that shit too. Like,
I still haven't seen that. Well, I haven't seen either Space Jam or that, but
LeBron, what are you doing to us? It's crazy, bro. And he's gonna really go in after he stops playing basketball.
That's why he moved to Hollywood. Man, by the way, him putting that quote out there during the Warriors series, I don't look for opportunities to flop. And then this dude flopped so hard he slid into the front row and got a drink dropped on him. Like, yo, you gotta relax, bro.
Karma drink, big dog. Karma drink. You talking that flopping shit, and then, oh yeah, we'll put it on display, and we're gonna get a Pepsi on your fucking head, bro. Come on, man. You can't write these things better than this. That's it for the super chats for now. Appreciate y'all as always. Y'all are cooking already this morning. Feels super great. Yeah, so Jimmy Bucket's in the finals. That's where we're leaving this.
Hopefully so, man. I'm now rooting for him to get his first ring. I've seen this comparison a few times, and he is a lot like Seth Rollins. I'm not just saying that because I like both of them, but they both when they're in their bag, man, they get to talking trash, man. They are very similar. I did think of like Jimmy and Seth walking in the gorilla talking trash
Mm-hmm.
and saying y'all are sleeping on me. As soon as I saw that, so there are comparisons there, man. And
I see it.
I've seen how people are trying to move the goalposts now and go, oh, are you worried now that your boy's doing movies? Nah, my man is out here getting it back, man. And that ain't going to stop him from winning this belt. That's still his belt. All you people that's like, oh, well, what if they put it on AJ? You know how I know they're not putting it on AJ? Because they're starting this Karrion Kross feud. Yeah. And if they were putting the belt on AJ, they would not be starting the feud.
Oh, that could be a little tease. They could be trying to throw you off.
You think that's the first world heavyweight title feud?
I would versus Karrion Kross? Hope not.
Yeah, nah, not buying it. Not buying it.
That has been funny this week. That the tone has changed. Like I felt like it was like 90-10 on Seth winning the belt. Like everybody was just like, "Oh, this is Seth Rollins' thing," and then they see him on the movie set, and they're like, "Actually, all of a sudden, he's gone." Nice knowing you. I'm like, "No, why y'all counting Seth out like this?"
Nah, man. If he looks around and you let this guy Roman be off TV for weeks at a time in a month, and this guy can't go film a movie and be champion too, what's going on, bro? It looks away. That's all I'm gonna say. It looks away.
I don't want them to change and be like, "Whoa, you can't do that because Roman is doing that."
Yeah, but I mean, how many WWE champions, how many big superstars have we seen get the movie roles and still get their time in the sun as well? Like The Rock did it, Austin did it, Triple H did it at one point.
Nobody was watching them movies, but.
I mean, yeah, Triple H was trash in Blade.
You never seen The Chaperone?
Nah.
Did you go to the movies to watch Fast X?
I did not. Sorry.
Are you caught up with the fastest? The Fast franchise? That's probably the way to say it.
I can't remember the last time I've actually seen a Fast movie, honestly. At some point, I checked out. Like this is kind of crazy. I think it was the one where Rock was in that hospital and he literally like flexed out of that cast. I was like, all right, man, enough.
Thank you, guys. We like pro wrestling, but there's a line, big dog.
Enough of this, man. Come on.
Yeah, I think maybe the last one I saw was 5. Maybe it's been a lot. When I was just like, I love The Rock, but like, it's when he came, it was over for me. I wasn't interested in.
You wasn't feeling that fight scene in the garage that we were supposed to believe that Vin Diesel can beat Rock in a one-on-one fight?
I know how tall both these guys are. They're not the same size. Movie magic is not about to trick me into thinking that Vin Diesel can beat up The Rock in a fight. He can't. I'm sorry. He cannot.
No, I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it, bro.
But the memes have been funny this week of that's been at the when did Fast and Furious go from reality into whatever the fuck it is now, and the clips of they just turned Vin Diesel into a superhero. Honestly, like that's where the movie is now. It's like it's like Superman, Batman, and Dominic Torino or whatever the fuck his name is. Like, why is this guy a superhero? Why is he punching through the earth, and why is he leaping from one car to another in midair with explosions in the back and fire somehow? 6 cars get around him and fire can't touch him. I'm like, this is.
No, the funniest one I saw was when whoever shared the clip of Ludacris beating homeboy up in that kitchen. He was like, "This is when I checked out. You want me to believe Ludacris is Jet Li? That's what I'm done."
Honestly, I'm in too. Cause Also, speaking of heights, we know how tall Ludacris is, man. He not fighting nobody.
No, my man Luda threw like a spinning back fist and gave him like an elbow. I was like, yo, what's going on here? I don't think I've ever seen that one.
Not Luda with the mixed martial arts. It's crazy. Now, I would like to see that though. Please in the chat if you know which specific Fast that is, put it in there because I want to see Luda. And he's fighting Jet Li, or that's just
no. People are like,
I was about to say,
into Jet Li.
Oh, he turned into Jet Li. Stand up. Shout out to Luda. He got his a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame this week. Luda, man, like it's
Big shout
been
out to Luda, man.
20 plus years of him being in the game, movies, but for a time, legit, when his second album I think came out, like me and my cousin's lives were about Ludacris. Like Ludacris's album was bumping heavy in the
He had
whip.
a run. When people were doing that debut single thing, he did have a
He did.
crazy debut single
Yeah.
with Southern Hospitality.
Mm-hmm.
Pharrell on that beat went crazy.
Mm.
And yeah, he had a run of albums from, like you said, the second album, Word of Mouth Up, Chicken and Beer, Red Light District. Nah, he was killing it.
He was on a run. Luda was what the hell was in the water back then, man? Bro was like, no, I'm the hottest rapper outside. That's kind of crazy that he went up. You saying all those albums in succession? I'm like, damn, this nigga was cooking. He didn't miss for a while until he did. It's shit. What, the late 2010s is when he like
when he cut the braids. That's
yeah.
That was the album I wasn't into, but yeah, no, he went on a run. I think that's Chicken and Beer with the intro with the Isaac Hayes sample. Fire.
Yeah, no, shout out to Ludacris, man. One of the greatest of all times. I put him in like the category of like Snoop and shit, man. Honestly, like a dope rapper, but then can also do all these other things, does voices, as animated type dude. Like he's like a bigger than life rapper, like if there are I like to say there are some rapper superheroes, and my favorite examples are Raekwon the Chef and Ghostface Killah. I think are like, because they do hip hop. Like hip hop is like it's like a language. It like becomes like a lifestyle. What the way that these guys did it, like I always talk about, like I had an ex-girlfriend and we would like listen to them talk, and like she's like, I can't understand what they're saying, and I'm like, that makes me feel good. That like hip hop lingo could not be understood by some people. It's like we have our own language. These guys are like the way that they rap bars and the way that they dress and the way that they act and talk and our video game characters and shit are like, these guys are superheroes, man. It's crazy.
Yeah. I mean that's part of what made Def Jam Vendetta so dope, is that these guys were like already larger than life characters, and then you get them in a video game, and they're like they're like literally characters in the game.
Exactly.
Yeah, nah, man. Too many great memories from hip hop, man.
Man, 50 years old this year. It's insane that I think the craziest thing is that it's so young, because it feels like all these condensed memories together feel like years and years, but no, that's just 50 years. We're talking about, like, I always tell people my favorite year is 1996. Like there's like a chunk of years that are my favorite. There's some that I don't like, but like it's a super young genre. We're still watching these guys get old, and I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the shit, honestly. So shout out to hip hop, the greatest genre of all time. They try to bastardize you, they destroy you, they fucking put AI on you, and I hate all the shit, but you're the best of all time, and there would be no Righteous Reg if it wasn't for hip hop.
For sure.
Don't stop.
Get into some wrestling, I guess. Like somewhere like, man, that's basketball and hip hop talk, man. Get to the wrestling, man. Man, it was a great week of wrestling. We got the usual CM Punk drama, but
leave us alone, Phil.
we got to start on a high note, because
yes,
I think the Elite's reunion was one of the best moments of the week.
Wow.
I mean, this has been a long time coming as well. Like the long-term storytelling they've been doing here is fire. I think the BCC versus Elite storyline is the best storyline AEW has going right now. And I thought this was a great way to pay it off. What'd you think?
I love how they started it with the Young Bucks coming into the arena, and then you think you're just going to see a nice little interview, and then the BCC slowly creeps up behind them in the parking lot. Young Bucks destroyed Yuta with the suitcase. He should still be dead. But they didn't get the upper hand. The BCC got the upper hand, beat their asses out there in the parking lot. Absolutely destroyed them. Set up this thing for later. We didn't even think Kenny Omega was in the building. So they planted some great seeds for eventually what happened in the main event angle or whatever. And so them coming out, Young Bucks coming to save Kenny Omega, and then Hangman coming out to a monstrous pop. I'm talking about crazy, insane shit. It feels like AEW has been building to this moment. It feels like everything about AEW has built to this moment. It's felt kind of crazy to put it in perspective of like, you think about like the history of AEW, what this is built on. It's built on, honestly, these guys being together, wanting to have their own promotion, wanting to do it their way. To see a super huge moment like this, kind of like on I don't want to say a random Dynamite, but just like, a regular ass Wednesday, it feels crazy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we've been technically building to this since 2020 when Hangman won the title.
Right.
And the Bucks helped him win. And we've been just like slowly creeping to this moment for a long time. I think the best thing about this, like you said, is that they started the show with the backstage brawl stuff, which I thought was hilarious. The way they slid in behind the Bucks was hilarious.
Yeah. Mox is on another level right now too, man. Not for nothing.
Mox cutting that promo afterwards and saying like, "Yo, we are the elite.
Yes,
we're the real elite." Nah, he's on fire, bro.
Cooking.
But yeah, it's getting into that and then kind of leading us to believe the main event segment was going to be the Don stuff of the how you people and you don't know what Kenny did to me. This is his fault, not mine. And completely veering left from that and going into the Elite versus BCC thing and officially announcing that we're getting Anarchy at the Arena at Double or Nothing. This was amazing. I think all the emotion was there. All of the callbacks were great. Kenny handing the broom to Hangman.
Wow.
Just incredible moment. Them standing down with the BCC, and then they were basically all stood almost in the same position as they were in the ring when they were getting ready to confront Hangman before.
But Phil, they have told me many of times that the Elite doesn't tell stories, bro. That's what they've been telling me this for damn near 10 years now, that these guys can't tell stories. But look at all the little moments and things that they add in that most fans probably don't even like. Most fans don't have Philip Lindsay eye to be like, oh yeah, they did this little thing over here, they did this little thing before, oh, this is a callback from this. Like, most fans are just like, the Elite's back together, but they do that for both sides, so the people that are paying attention to every little detail get some reward, and they just love to reward the people that stick around through these long things, because they've been telling the story for so long. It feels like at moments they weren't telling the story, but they've always been telling the story.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, no, there were a lot of great callbacks here. There were a lot of really cool things, like even like flipping stuff like Hangman wearing an eye patch this time around, and that's a callback to Mox this time with the
amazing
with the eye patch. Super into this stuff. Again, I think this is the best storyline in the company right now. Super excited for this match.
And we got to give it up to the BCC, who has been playing great heels. Danielson on the mic just yelling and being that little
having the time of his life.
Yeah, he's having an amazing time. And we haven't even gotten to the matches yet. Like, we haven't seen anybody wrestle yet. We just been seeing people fighting and beating each other's asses. When we get to the matches eventually, we have some of the best. Bryan Danielson and Kenny Omega are a part of this. Like, just them two names off rip. Then you got Mox. Then you got the Bucks. Then you got Claudio. It's like Hangman, Yuta too. Like, everybody that's involved in this are high class athletes. And when we do get to this Anarchy in the Arena match, remember the one last year? The one last year was amazing. And shout out to the Jericho Appreciation Society. But having the Elite on the other side of the BCC this time is like, hey, yo, like, I never thought we was going to get here. This is crazy.
Yeah, nah, definitely. I think Blackpool Combat Club is easily the best heel act in the company. Like, it's not even close at this point.
Yeah, far and away.
But yeah, I just think it's nice to see the Elite back in a prominent storyline again. It's nice to see all of the people that pay attention to all this Elite lore from BTE and all these things get a rewarding moment on TV again.
Yep.
yeah, I think if you are an Elite fan, I think you've been fed pretty well for the last month or so.
Straight
I
up.
think we're going to get a really good payoff in the pay-per-view match.
Mm-hmm.
We talked about it a little bit on Ask Grapsody, but I guess for the sake of this, um,
Yeah, no, we got it. We're gonna get into yeah.
sorry, I'm
No,
here.
it's all good.
But yeah, no, for the sake of talking about it here, do you think this should main event Double or Nothing?
There's been a lot of talk about this week, and yeah, I still feel the same. I'm gonna feel the same forever. The world title always has to main event. That's like wrestling for me. That at the end of the day, that's a Love and Hip Hop line. At the end of the day, this whole thing is about the world championship. Even though all of these guys are fighting each other, BCC and the Elite, Kenny Omega, John Moxley, Bryan Danielson still want to be the world champion. That's still the end of this. And they're building this pillars match. They've been building it, having great video packages, everything, they've been trying to tell us that these guys are important, all these things. You have to have the world title in the main event. I love that this angle is super hot. It's great. It's dope. But world title has to main event this show.
Yeah, I agree. I think if the point of this storyline with the pillars, and I think the pillar stuff has been great.
Mm-hmm.
I think if the point of this is to see where you're at with those four guys and give them the chance to swim in the deep end, you've got to give them that opportunity. You've got to give them the opportunity in the main event to see what you've got in these guys. If you come away from this thinking, all right, these three guys are not ready to main event yet, at least you know that because you had it. And so I don't think that you could do this four-way and go this far with it without giving them that opportunity. Because at this point, we know the Elite and like Moxley and Claudio can main event shows. Like,
Yeah,
but I think you have to see what you got in this generation of AEW wrestlers. If you don't now, then when will you do it?
Exactly. And kind of the story they've been telling of the match has been that these guys are a big deal. This is the future of the company. If you want to see what the future of the company is, you got to put them on last, especially if we're going to have what people are going to consider this amazing match. All right, follow this Anarchy in the Arena. Can you guys do it? And you know that those guys are going to do it. So it's like, you got to put them in the main event. It's Darby, it's Sammy, it's Jungle Boy. Like, it's not like there's some slouches. It's MJF. Like, it's going to be a hot match. I know people love stories and payoffs and all that is true, but world title main event because they have that too.
Yeah. On the subject of the main event, because of course people do I want stories, I want character, I want all of this. I've seen a lot of people that are like, oh, well, is this really good? Like, is there enough character stuff? I think there's a lot of really good character stuff in the pillar stuff that people are missing.
Mm-hmm.
I really like the way they've built this match. I mean, I know people are gonna do Max doesn't wrestle, Max cuts long promos. I think what they did with Max this week was really smart. I think you've watched him try and scheme and get Sammy on his side so that he won't be outnumbered in this match.
Yep.
And then when that blew up in his face, you can see him slowly getting unhinged again.
Right.
And so you get all the way to the moment this week where he slaps the mic out of Renee's hand, which I thought was very good. Just the way Renee sold it, the way he walked away, all of it was really good. And I think the stuff they're doing with Jungle Boy is very interesting as well. I think getting closer and closer to him, seeing Max's point in that first promo of you can't keep trying to make friends with people. You got to get an edge to you. You're good, but you're never gonna win being like that. And then and of course, like calling it back to the Christian stuff as well. I really like what they're doing. People were all over the Roosh match, which Twitter being silly. Oh, it's a match, so one of these guys have to lose. Listen, people lose in wrestling, man. It's
all the time, man.
It's okay. It's okay for somebody to take a loss, but I thought the way they handled this was really good because they really put over how good Roosh is. They really put over like how intense he is, and the fact that Jungle Boy, out of all of the pillars this week, had to cheat to win his match was very interesting.
Come on. Stories
I
being
thought
told.
I think what they're doing here is really good. And the Sammy stuff, boy, they really want us to see this guy as a
They're
baby face.
really hammering it home there, ain't they? They're like, hey, do you guys like this guy yet? Here's a couple of more ammunition for you guys to like this guy. We're in Texas. They like him here. He got some big pops in Texas. I just don't believe it. I haven't from day one of All Access. When All Access started, and I was like, they're trying to get Sammy Guevara to be the baby face in this. I don't know. That's not gonna work, man. And it hasn't been working because I don't believe it. I just think he's like a swarmy little shithead. But that's what I like about him as a wrestler. I think just continue to use that to push forward. But I see they're trying to go with this babyface thing. They might be trying to do a switch. Jack, him. I see what's going on here. I like what's going on. I would love for Jungle Boy to potentially be a heel. I think he'd do a lot more with his character as this happy-go-lucky, smiling, happy to be here guy. We've had it. We know it. We saw it. You've been here since the beginning. You were young. You're this and this, but now it's time to get down to it. You need to win some gold, baby. And then Darby Allin's, I think, also kind of the dark horse. I think I think Max is going to win here. I think that's probably what's going to happen. But if Darby Allin pulled out some kind of freak victory or some kind of crazy roll up or something, wouldn't be surprised in the least. I think he's super duper over. People this week being like, oh, he lost steam is like,
come on, Booker. Come on, bro.
Book.
What are you doing, man? I know what you're trying to do, Booker, but nah. This guy has not lost any steam. The guy is still incredibly over. The guy just had a great TNT title run. Just had that great TNT title win in Seattle. Clearly the most over face in this storyline. The guy that a lot of fans want to see win this match. Nah, I'm not really into.
He's top 5 baby face in the. I'm trying to think of all the hottest baby faces in the company, and Darby's definitely Darby and Orange are up there. The Elite, you know what I mean?
Yeah, he's in the top 5 for sure.
Yeah, what? What you mean?
Yeah, I didn't really understand the reasoning there, but whatever.
Book on book. Gotta get his shit off.
But yeah, I mean, even on the surface, the Sammy stuff is interesting because I think the way they've played this stuff up with him, and him kind of looking around I have been standing next to Jericho all this time, and these guys are kind of starting to lap me now. And I did have this good rivalry going with Darby, and now Darby's slowly starting to move ahead of me. So I do think all of that stuff is interesting. It was just a little bit too. It was a little contrived this week with him because there were 3 segments with him where they were just trying to make sure we knew he was a babyface. He cut the promo, and the promo was fine. He got a decent reaction to it. He did the backstage segment, and then he came back out for the babyface save later. It was oh, okay, man. All right.
It's on the run sheet at the top in parentheses. It was Sammy show. We really got to get Sammy over tonight.
Yeah, and I don't know if it worked as well. I mean, it'll be interesting to see the reaction to him outside of Texas. He didn't get the pop I would have expected.
I don't think Vegas is gonna give it up to him.
Yeah, that's
why I'm it's gonna be tough.
So I don't know. But yeah, I'm still very much into the pillar stuff. I think this is a fun match. I think it's a great payoff for people that have been with the company since day one.
I think coming out of this match is the most interesting because all the stuff we're talking about here and the character work of each individual coming out of this, I think is going to be the most interesting because, how do they complete the Sammy transformation? How do they do the Jungle Boy thing? And then what happens with Darby after this? He's as we are saying, he's very over. So anybody he's going to be involved with, going to be a super hot angle. And then what happens with Max? We've been talking about it on every podcast we have. This summer, there's a lot going on. There's going to be a lot of moving pieces. There's going to be a lot of big events. Is Max going to lead the way through this whole thing? Or is Kenny Omega going to heat up and get in there? Or is somebody else going to heat up and get in there? There's so many different things going on here. But main event, this world title match, it has to be. Man. Come on, man.
I agree. I think that the Anarchy at the arena match is going to be really good, but I still think the world title match should main event.
Mm-hmm. Let's get into a couple of super chats. Our homie Shanika says, "Hi guys, just dropping some love. Oh, and as a Jacksonville girl, I wouldn't be mad at Collision at Dailies. I got spoiled with the months of shows 10 minutes from my place. I get it, Shanika. I would be the same way if it was down the street from me. You know, as California, I want everything in California. So I would see. Yeah, no, Phil and I legit joked about this on Ask Grapsody of if they switch the Collision thing to Daly's place, we know something went wrong. And now there's talk out there that that's actually a possibility. Like this guy might not show up. We're gonna get more into it very soon. Gaming from Canada says the MK1 trailer was hype and can't wait for the Fight Forever as well, and hope to see a release date trailer next week on PlayStation Showcase.
Yeah, that's the other fight game news we left out. We
Yep.
do seemingly have a release date for Fight Forever.
Mhm.
That's what, July 27th?
No, June.
June 27th. Coming up.
Mm-hmm. Supposed to be reportedly in conjunction with all Forbidden Door weekend, which I think is a great pairing. Start pushing this game. I mean, people are already excited about it, and the promotion part of it is going to be kind of to the wayside at this point. I think anybody who's going to want this game or going to get this game is already like, I'm going to get it when it comes out. But I think you could get probably a lot of crossover with what they're doing with that. But yeah, super interesting. We've been talking about this specifically on this podcast for a very long time for a couple of different reasons that I'm very excited about. June 27th. A lot of people are going to hear me rap, and I'm very excited about it, man. I can't even like put it into words. I'm like, hey, yo, like this game's going to come out. People are going to hear your boys' bars. It's crazy. Never thought in a million years that would happen. This is bucket list material happening here. So shout out to everybody that's going to play Fight Forever on the reported get you some Fightful Select so you can see if it's real release date talk. I'm very excited about it. Heard a couple of things about the game, and it's gonna be a lot of fun when this thing comes out, the reception and how people think. And I already know that it's gonna be hilarious because people are already in their brain thinking that they're about to play WWE or AEW 2K23, and it's not that. So get out of your brain.
Seems like if you're looking for a simulation game, that's not what you're gonna get.
You got one. You have one. It's called WWE 2K23. You got it. You got it here. You can make all your favorite AEW people on there. I've seen some insane creations. People are crazy with the video game creation. So if you want that, go get it, big dog. Henry T. Casey also says, before Donald Glover had full songs and such, he was playing small venues doing Drake covers. I was at one.
I remember that.
I was at one. Dude had it. Everybody starts somewhere.
Yeah, shout out to Henry. But yeah, I remember that. I remember he used to do the covers before he started doing like full-fledged albums.
Mm-hmm. Shout out to Donald Glover. That reminds me, I saw Donald Glover in concert or at a show in LA like right after Camp came out, and it was dope. Super dope. Great memories, man. Good time, great memories. Jake Salazar says, LMAO, nobody asking for Roman to be in movies. Burn. Well, except his cousin.
I think he'll do more movies eventually. We just got that report this week that he's going to take more time off to do something Hollywood related. It wasn't specific. So I think he eventually will.
Do you think he's going to give up that championship when he goes to do it?
No.
You'll take the belt with him.
I think he'll be still champion late into this year. If it's me, I think you take the championship off of him at SummerSlam. And
it's not looking good for him, big dogs. I mean, it is looking good for Roman, but it ain't looking good for anybody beating him at this point. Because money from me is on he's at WrestleMania 40 with them championships.
Oh man, I can totally see it. I hope not. Just to put over my article I did for Bleacher Report, pitching what Cody should do from next pay-per-view Night of Champions up to SummerSlam. I think Cody should win the Money in the Bank, and I don't think he should cash it in. I think he should use it to challenge Roman at SummerSlam, and I think he should challenge him to an I Quit match. I think that would be a really good callback to the Jey Uso stuff. I think that would be a nice way to get Jey Uso involved and play into the downfall of Bloodline.
Look at you.
Book the match, man.
Yeah. I don't know how high I am on Cody being Money in the Bank because I don't know, but they don't use it to really, because I'm always about like use it to put somebody else over. Like Cody's already in the position to just get the match and win the belt, and it's like you could use this as a tool for somebody unexpected to be into it, but WWE don't care about that. So just give Cody the briefcase and let's do this.
I kind of feel like it's the same as the Rumble. It should be the hottest up and coming guy at the moment. And Cody, there's no other hot contender right now other than Cody.
True.
Yeah, it's a little dumb that you'd have him win the Rumble and the Money in the Bank in the same year, but it was also dumb to have him lose at WrestleMania. So here we are.
We already did dumb things. Let's just continue the dumb things. Shane Monster says K-Tronada and Abene's album K-Tronane is dope. FYI, I actually heard a lot of dope things about this album, and I do want to listen to it. I'm sure that Abene's been he's been chilling, marinating. I think this is a great way for him to come back. I'm gonna bump that.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I've heard good things about it. I haven't heard it yet. I haven't heard the West Side album yet either. But definitely gotta check those out.
What did I listen to? Yeah, there's a lot of dope music. Yeah, I listened to a little bit of that Naxaw Jim Duggan, but I didn't super get into it. I haven't listened to too much music this week than just podcasts. Anime Otaku says video game talk has me thinking that a Dynamite version of the Collision logo could be in a GTA game set in the 90s as a legally distinct Nitro parody.
Maybe. Whoever made that image of Punk coming out on the Nitro set, that was fire. Now I kind of like want to see them do something similar to the Nitro set.
He said that was fire.
It was fire. Did you see it?
I did see it.
Yeah, it was fire. And I really like the logo of the Collision too. So
yeah. Hopefully he's there. A new rag says, I think Danielson may sign a new contract given his involvement in creative for Collision. Thoughts, and happy for Will working with his favorite wrestler.
I don't know. I don't know how much he's gonna have a hand in Collision. Both of those guys. So I don't know. That would be cool to think about, like him working with Brian on creative for Collision. But
it's pretty crazy to think about. Yeah, we heard this week that Bryan Danielson's gonna be involved in creative. Subscribe to Fightful Select. I don't know if we gotta keep fucking saying this. That Bryan Danielson's $5. Bryan Danielson's gonna be involved in creative. As we know, he previously was in creative a little bit over in WWE. I think that's while he was, down with his injury, and before he left the company, he was involved over there because he's Bryan Danielson. He's a great mind. So having Bryan Danielson kind of overseeing, that was my idea. So say that CM Punk can't make it. We can't get CM Punk. Things fell through. You got the guy in creative now. Let's base this show on fucking Bryan Danielson. Look, Bryan Danielson is the superstar of this show. All the people that we want to see face him wrestle Bryan Danielson. We built the TNT championship around Bryan Danielson. Like, this show could be about Bryan Danielson, and I think it could have a great effect. I don't know if it'll have the same effect as CM Punk being there. It won't, but I think it could be a great way to kind of pivot. I guess it'll kind of get muddied up if you're trying to do a distinctive, because Punk being there puts a pretty big distinction on like wrestling wise of like, if you got the Elite over here doing this kind of thing and then Punk and FTR doing this kind of thing, it's different things. But I guess Bryan Danielson is kind of more in the Punk category than he is with the Elite. So
yeah,
I don't know, man.
Yeah. I'm interested to see what Collision is. Again, we're going to get more into the Collision talk in a minute, but
Yeah.
I'm interested to see how they're going to try and differentiate it from Dynamite.
Yeah. Sets, times, if CM Punk's gonna be there. Deontay, our homie, says, just finished a 9K brunch. Want to get out of here to finish Best of the Super Juniors. Leo, Bailey, and Yo have been my fave so far. Stardom, flashing championship on May 27th. Tam and Mina woke up to Instagram Phil SMH. All love, boys. Shout out to Deontay. Appreciate you for showing love. Yeah.
Are you talking about the Instagram I think you talked about of Mina giving it up on Instagram? Is that what you talked about, Deontay?
What's that? I haven't seen that.
Nah, Mina's gonna be challenging Tam. They're gonna both belts are gonna be on the line, the white and the red belt. But also Mina has been promoting this like pictorial she's doing. So like she's been putting like the pictures on Instagram and on Twitter. I'm like, what are you talking about here? What you looking at?
Yo, boys getting after it this morning, huh? I'm not mad at it. Oh yeah. And then the Best of the Super Juniors talk. The Best of the Super Juniors has been insane. Everybody has been cooking. Shout out to my homeboy Kevin Knight, who has been improving with every single match. You can see it in the tournaments like this are so tough because there's matches every single day. The tournament was 16 days, 12 matches in 16 days, and all of the days off are travel days. So there's no time to take a break. There's no time to really sit and breathe. It's like the time that's down, you're traveling. The time that's up, you're wrestling against a different opponent than you've seen. As Phil and I have talked about last week, Leo Rush, though, I think this is his tournament, big dog. Like the way that he's cooking in there, the matches have been insane. His confidence, the way that the crowd has taken to him. Hey, man.
Yeah, I really think he's gonna win the tournament. If it's not him, I could see Speedball winning, but I have a feeling it's gonna be Leo.
Yeah, it's crazy to see that this transformation of Leo of becoming like even better. Like every time he kind of returns, it feels like he's gotten better. But this time he feels like a star, a huge star. He's just working at 1,000,000%. Shout out to everybody in the Best of Super Juniors because there's been some great stuff. Like I said, Yo shows out there cooking. Speedball is absolutely destroying it. Hiromu is having a crazy run himself, like all the matches that he's involved in. Kushida has been on the losing effort for a lot of this, but he's a great person to have in there. This has been a great tournament. They're executing exactly what I thought they would.
Yeah.
Orion Ben says, anyone take more punishment than Yuta on Wednesday? Damn, no. They was beating Yuta's ass.
Nah, they definitely had him in a blender. He took that suitcase to the face, then he took that trash can lid to the face. When Kenny was running down, took the full brunt of the beating. Yeah, man. He took the full brunt of the beating at the end of it. Yeah.
He deserved it. He knew what his position was. He probably was having a great time. Anurag says, I just need Bryan versus Omega and a pay-per-view, no TV match.
Yeah, I think we're closer to seeing that soon.
And a pay-per-view, what show could that be at coming up here? They're already going to do Anarchy at the Arena. Forbidden Door. I don't think they would do Bryan versus Kenny at Forbidden Door. Could be at one of the shows after that.
Yeah. It seems like we're probably going to get Kenny versus Ospreay at this point.
Ospreay, right.
So I doubt it's going to be the Omega match.
Right. Gaming from Canada says, afraid of Yuta's life in Anarchy at the Arena. Man, it's gonna be dangerous for your boy, honestly. That is hilarious. Deontay says, the Elite is back. If I may always remember, wrestling is meant to be fun. New Japan, Stardom, and WWE is fun with the new title. Even with that hot mess, it's meant for us to have fun. So always have fun. Yeah, seriously, wrestling is fun. You want to live in moments. You want to appreciate moments like what happened with the Elite. You want to appreciate moments like Bad Bunny's entrance at Backlash. Like these are some moments are just like, forget everything surrounding it. Forget the backstage. Forget the ratings. Forget all that. This is a moment in time that we are all supposed to have fun with.
Yeah, definitely. And I think this Wednesday was definitely one of those moments. Like everything that was going on before the show and how people were all, into this gossip and rumors as usual. But once we got to the end of the show and we got that great payoff and Hangman cutting that dope promo, it was like, man, the show is just so fun to watch, man. It's just so much other enjoyable things this week to see. So,
How'd
yeah,
you feel
man,
about that Ricky Starks and Switchblade finish?
I really didn't like it. I thought it was terrible. I thought the match was very good. I thought the match was very, very good.
Great.
Like,
Yeah.
Way better than I expected it to be, but I did not like that finish at all.
No.
It was just completely flat. And I don't think it's a bad idea for a finish if they're gonna do the rematch at the pay-per-view. But I just don't think it was executed well. It was something about it. It just did not work for me, man.
Something about it did not click.
It just felt very anticlimactic. The crowd didn't really react to it. I didn't like it.
Do you think if Ricky Starks would have hit him with the chair more, it would have did something? Because it just felt like whack, and then it was over. Like it didn't really.
Yeah, I think afterwards Ricky just kind of stood around and then he
Right.
started, like play it like a guitar and then he sat in it.
No,
it
we need
just,
heat, dude.
It just was it wasn't good, man. Yeah, Juice yelling at him at the end was hilarious, but
Juice is always cooking. Oh, and I watched that promo you were telling me about. That Juice promo. Juice is a damn fool. Yeah. Shout out to Juice Robinson, man. If anything, there's guys that make the best of their screen time. Juice Robinson is like, look, I'm about to eat up all this screen time. He has been on another level since joining AEW. Unsung little hero, man. That's just a guy that they're going to continuously be able to get great stuff from.
I don't think he got enough credit for his match with Ricky either. I thought he had a good showing in that match. Juice is a good wrestler, and I think he's a good character guy. I just think that it felt like the wrong move to go from Jericho to Juice. And that's not to say Juice isn't good. It's just like, if you're going to tell me that Ricky is among these kind of stars, he's up there with MJF and Jericho, then no, I don't think that the next feud should have been Juice. And I mean, yeah, you could say that it led to the Jay White stuff, but I just don't feel like it's done what it should have for Ricky. Like, Ricky feels like he feels like he's lost a lot of momentum within the last few months.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it felt like it was more of a thing for Juice than it was for Ricky. Ricky, like Juice was getting the upgrade, like, oh, you're coming into somebody that's just wrestled Jericho, and nothing against Juice, but it's like Ricky was like, all right, you're getting a new guy, but it's not gonna feel as important than you just wrestling Jericho and just having this big moment with him at Revolution. You know what I mean? So, I think they still could. It's still leading to Jay White and Jay White and Ricky possibly getting another big match. So I think that it's good, but that finish, I didn't love it.
Yeah, wasn't a fan of that finish.
Jake Salazar says, I don't know though. Elite versus BCC is bigger and better match with a better story overall.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is a better story, and I do think it feels bigger because you have all the main stars in it. But I feel like that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I think those four guys, other than Max, haven't really proven that they're marquee guys yet, and that's again why I feel like you got to give them the chance.
This is the thing. This is how you do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
They're going to continue to be right under that level of main event stars if you don't let them be main event stars.
Yeah, you got to put them in the deep end to see if they can swim.
Boom. G-Bro says hamburger or hot dog style.
Huh?
I don't know.
I don't know what that means.
But hamburger. Sammy, Jake Salazar says Sammy is too good and too pretty with the hot wife. The guy's supposed to be unbearable all the time, and it works. 1,000%. That's how I feel. Guys, like, we're not supposed to like this guy ever. He's a handsome guy. He has a banging ass wife. Like, I hate this fool. He sucks. His haircut, like, I don't want to be like, yeah, I like this guy. But I think the story that they're trying to tell in that shirt, I hate that shirt with little kid Sammy looking in the mirror. It's like, I see what y'all are doing here, but I'm not going to accept it.
What'd you think of the Roman shirt that he debuted last night?
The Roman shirt is god awful, terrible.
I get what they're going for with it. It is kind of funny, but I was like, okay, man.
That's a Spencer's Gifts fucking shirt right there. One that you would walk by Spencer's and be like, oh, that's a cool shirt next to the dildos. Terrible. The world champion that's about to hit 1,000
next
days.
to the what? Wait.
I think they got dildos at Spencer's. That's where that weak ass shirt belongs. Or like at the Big Dog store. That looks like it could be a Big Dog's version of Roman Reigns shirt. This is terrible. Like nobody cool. I'll tell you what. Nobody cool is gonna fucking wear that. Y'all been talking about the Britt Baker shirt.
Nah, people are definitely gonna buy that shirt, bro.
I said nobody cool. I didn't say nobody's gonna buy it. A whole bunch of people are gonna buy it.
A bunch of people you follow on Twitter are gonna buy that shirt, bro.
They're answering the goddamn questions for me. Here's what it is. Ricardo, surname redacted, says, how long till Grayson Waller becomes Miz? You know what? Not for nothing, I tweeted about it last night. Watch this segment. I watched all of SmackDown. Shout out to me for watching all of SmackDown.
Shout out to me.
Grayson Waller effects featured AJ Styles. Something about Grayson Waller I want to hide and say, I like this guy. I think if we're talking white guys that can talk and we're talking Grayson Waller versus LA Knight, I'm picking LA Knight. I mean, I'm picking Grayson Waller every time. I think Grayson Waller has more juice. Like he feels, I think the issue that I have with LA Knight is it feels like he watched a bunch of the best wrestling characters ever and made his own version of that. Feels like he's always like, yeah, like I see what he's doing, but it just feels like he's playing a character. Grayson Waller sucks, but like in a good way. Like he's like, I hate him because of all the things he's doing, and it feels like if he wasn't a pro wrestler, he still would be talking like this, dressing like this, acting like this, and it just feels more natural for me to hate him. I think he's better than even getting heat than the Miz, because when the Miz was trying to push this, it still at the end of the day feels like Miz is a dork. Like if you started out watching the Real World, it was like this fool's a dork.
But I think that's kind of recency bias, because I think Miz at his peak was a very good heel. I think Miz,
but he still felt like a dork though.
Like even like Miz in 2017 with the IC belt, and he was doing the Miz Haraj stuff. Miz was on fire. He was cutting some of his best promos. I still think right now I'm the least I've ever been interested in Miz. But
like, how did he get a spot in that tournament?
My only guess is they couldn't get creative for Drew, and they're trying to save him for something else. That was my only guess, because okay. Drew made the most sense for that spot.
He did make a lot of sense in that spot.
So, but yeah, no, I can't say he's going to turn into Miz anytime soon, because I think Grayson Waller is kind of better in ring. Like he's more athletic than Miz.
He is.
He's kind of more interesting. He's kind of like Logan Paul if he went straight through NXT. He has a lot of similarities to him. Like he does the same talk show gimmick. Like, well, it's not a gimmick for Logan. He actually has the podcast, but he's very similar to him in a lot of ways. He does the clout chaser thing. He does kind of like the influencer thing.
I think that's going to pay off for him in the long run. It's like, okay, we got this Logan Paul, but we don't have him all the time. We kind of have a guy that does that. Let's push this guy.
Yeah, I don't mind Grayson. I thought the segment they did with AJ was fine. I thought it was hilarious that he did all of that and he got to the end and he was like, yeah, and they're going to announce the new champion, Seth freaking Rollins. And then AJ got mad and I was like, what's the problem? He's right.
What are you mad at, AJ? That's what's going to happen.
What are you mad at? That's what's going to happen. You're going to lose this match. I don't know why you're mad at him.
I love how they just cut. That was it. He said AJ stood up and they were like, all right.
Cut.
Don't let AJ say anything because it's true, AJ. Like, let's be real.
Yeah. But no, I think Grayson's fine. I think he's on a good trajectory. Out of the NXT call-ups, I think that he's kind of fit in seamlessly. I like the Pretty Deadly match as well, but
I did like that.
Yeah, I don't mind Grayson Waller.
I think Pretty Deadly's gonna be. They might be the ones that go the farthest out of everybody called up, just because the way that they're presented. And I think that gimmick more than like a lot of times NXT gimmicks don't translate. This one is like,
Yeah.
have these guys doing exactly the same thing they were doing up there. Like this works.
Yeah.
Don't change anything about them.
They seem like an act that was kind of tailor made for the main roster anyway. I never felt like they weren't going to transition well.
Right.
So I think it's going to work. But yeah,
why wouldn't they do that with all the people then? Why is this like a rare thing that the translation thing? Like it's not normal that people gimmick just translates over. Like what happened here? These guys are just really good, I guess, like because they are really good at their job.
I mean, to give a little bit of credit, the last few NXT call-ups are doing pretty well. I think EO's in a good spot, Solo's in a good spot, Gunther's doing really well.
Okay. They all have their same gimmick. Maybe I was capping.
Yeah, so they the last handful of NXT call-ups are doing fine. We got to see what's going to happen with these women's tag teams that they brought up, which we're going to get into the tag team situation in a minute as well. But I think a lot of call-ups are doing fine.
Yeah, I agree. Coy Stalling says, the way Roman been looking at the World Heavyweight Championship, what if he wins it? What y'all gonna do if he gets that title?
He's not winning that title, bro.
He better
he don't care about that belt, bro.
Y'all better, if y'all even thinking about it, Triple H, stop fucking thinking about it, dude. Conversely, Yuta gets the win at Anarchy in the Arena for BCC.
I would be into it. It would be a nice. It wouldn't be a nice callback to everything else that's happening that night because of the Four Pillars match. It would be very interesting if the Young Buck in the match wins the match.
I like this story. Look, Phil is, I don't know what his brain's on, but he's in writer mode, it seems like, man. He's booking all these finishes and he's booking angles, he's booking matches, he's booking finishes. Yo, subscribe to I don't know if you subscribe to his articles on Bleacher Report, but follow your boy because he cooking.
No, I'm just saying, man. They acted like all the creativity left out the room. My man went over to the creative, man. We still cooking over here.
Listen,
we still getting it in over here, man.
Listen, it is what it is. Y'all know it. Y'all know your boys. That's it for the super chats for now. I guess we can. We're talking. We could check on the Humper chats before we move on to a little bit more AEW talk.
Yeah, before we get into Collision, let's get into some of these Humper chats. Where was the last one I read? I think D-Lo was the last one I got.
Yep.
Let's see. All right, Carnage 521. A Redditor this week transcribed a previous shoot interview done by CM Punk and Colt Cabana discussing gross misogynistic treatment they committed against a female trainee. Post Me Too, should AEW continue to bring back Punk with his history or behavior? Yeah, I've seen people keep bringing up this interview. I've never seen it. I always get leery of people bringing these things up from years ago, especially when it seems like people are like not feeling somebody. It seems like it's a targeted thing because you didn't care about this interview before that, but now you want to bring up this interview because you don't want to be there anymore. It looks away. And again, I don't want to comment on the content of the interview because I haven't seen it, but it does feel a little bad faith that you're trying to bring it up now of all time. This guy's been with the company almost 2 years now, and now you want to bring it up. It looks away.
I haven't seen the interview that they're talking about. I haven't. It's funny that I've been on Reddit and I haven't seen that. But yeah, so I won't really comment. I don't really know. That stuff gets too muddied and so.
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, I didn't have more input on that because I didn't see it. But see, Shaq on the Punk Talk. All I feel this week accomplished was outing people's bias on both sides. It's to the point where unless Sean reports it, I don't give any report the benefit of the doubt. I feel like there's a little bit of much ado about nothing to some of this stuff, to be honest with you. I think a lot of people are kind of overreacting on both sides, but that's kind of where we at right now with Punk stuff. Like everything turns into this like world-changing event every time any of the update comes out about him. It's just getting a little tiresome. I'm kind of ready for him to just get back to whatever he's gonna do. If he's gonna come back and wrestle, let's get to it. If he's not going to, let's get to that. Like all of the back and forth between both sides is just getting silly.
if it's going to continue to loom, it's either put this guy on TV or release him for his contract. Because I don't want you to not like it's like, oh, he's not going to be at Collision, but his contract's still looming, so he still might show. No, if we're not doing this, let's not do this. Like, drop this guy from his contract. Let's fucking move on because I'm tired of the semantics and it's messing up with everybody else in this position. All the other wrestlers involved, all the other people involved, they're running around with chickens with their heads cut off because of this guy doing this crazy shit. So either put him on TV or let's stop talking about him because talking about him is a bunch of he say, she say bullshit anyways. Nothing even real.
Yeah. Yeah. Whoops. Sorry, I grabbed the wrong. There was somebody that said that the Punk interview. Here we go. Reinvented it. He said it's because of the same time frame of the Alvarez article. So, if you're watching this and you don't understand what he means, the Alvarez thing, of course, because Alvarez and Punk had that back and forth today, and Bix came back and said, "Can you blame him for having a problem with you because you kind of framed the guy as a problematic guy with women?" And he probably never forgot that. So I guess people are now trying to bring that shoot interview in to counteract that and say, oh, well, Alvarez may have had a point. I don't know, man. It just feels like that was a long time ago, and trying to relitigate all these things now seems kind of pointless. I don't know. It doesn't have anything to do with what's going on with him now. If you have a problem with what the guy's doing right now, that I get that, but trying to go back and litigate things from whatever almost 18 years ago, that just seems like a waste of time.
Oh, what about this thing?
Yeah,
it's like, all right, bro.
I don't know, but yeah, I mean, again, we'll get into some of the Punk and Collision stuff in a minute. Let's see, from Raj. Hey, I've sent chats to you both before. As a team, my rapper name was Righteous Raj. I put it together that my best friend since I was 5 is named Phil.
Hey, what's up, Raj? Parallels.
Oh man, that's great.
Righteous Raj.
Righteous Raj.
I love it.
Let's see. The next one from Black Phoenix brand. Can we just go ahead and declare those women's tag titles cursed? Ever since its inception, it's been one problem after another. It is time to try something else. Yeah, they've had good stints with the belts for a little bit, but yeah, it's been so many different things coming up. It's just unfortunate. You gotta feel for people like Bailey that really meant well trying to start those belts and start a tag division. And looking at her tweet from last night, I really feel like she still wants this division to succeed. She still wants to be a part of it. So it does suck because there are women that are trying very hard to make those titles matter.
It just feels like, damn, just like let Bailey carry them the whole time. Like if she would have just been the fucking captain of this ship, it would have been lit by now. But, you know, I get it. I understand. They want Raquel, so they won't. We're gonna get into it. We're gonna get into it. Jeez Louise.
Let's see. The next one's from Colt. He says, "Jungle Boy heel turn leading to reuniting with Luchasaurus and Christian." I don't know. I don't know about that.
I like the heel turn, but I don't like the reunited thing.
Yeah, I don't think he needs to reunite with Luchasaurus. Maybe he just reunites with Luchasaurus and Luchasaurus leads Christian. I don't know.
Yes, but not with Christian. I don't think. Yeah. I want to see him on his own. I don't think he needs he doesn't need to become Christian. Like, oh, he's heel now, so he's Christian. No, let him try. Let's try something else.
I am very curious to see what heel Jungle Boy will be. I'm curious if he changes the music. He kind of has to change the music because it's so upbeat and it's so over. But I'm curious if he change his look. So I don't know.
Do you think this this online chatter is also playing a role? Because remember a couple weeks ago they were like, "Oh, Jungle Boy was at a signing and he was a dick and nobody blah blah blah." Is it?
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that? Yeah. Apparently, Jungle Boy was at a signing in the UK or something, and he was just sour or some shit, and fans were saying that he wasn't. He wasn't really into being there. And so he put out an interview or a tweet or something being like, I have anxiety, blah, 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 you know, all these things.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, people were holding that against him though, and like trying to paint him as being like this bad guy. And I think like it got to the nasty side of Twitter and shit. And so I'm like, is he gonna use that as fuel to say fuck y'all niggas? Because he might.
Sometimes that leads to some of the best heel turns, man. When people start getting in their bag and getting off what they've been wanting to say about fans for a minute, sometimes that's the best heel work. So.
I've been wanting to cook y'all niggas. Where do I start?
That's what Roman's been doing. Roman's been looking around like, nah, I've been tired of y'all.
Yeah. I've been wanting to say this for years. There's been years and years and years I couldn't say this, and he's getting it all the way up.
Let's see. Last Humper chat from Bizarro Big L. I think people making comments and sabotaging the Ace Steel situation is causing issue when Punk and Elite have both shown that they want to do what's best for wrestling. The Kenny promo and the Punk Alvarez tweet spoke to that. Also, MJ said Bird over Braun. The Elite promo after the cameras went off was very interesting. I don't know what that means. There were some clear references to Punk there. Kenny drinking the milk and saying that he's straight edge. I'm also saying that, you know, it's good to be in the same building with people and show that sometimes your mortal enemies, you can just get in a room and move past things and do what's best for business. Very interesting. I don't know what it means. We still don't have all the information, and that's pretty much what I think about most of the stuff we've seen all week. I'm waiting to get more information before I jump to conclusions.
Well, that's going to lead us right into Collision talk, funny enough, because we have been under the idea that this entire show was built for one man. They created this show. Oh, what are we going to do with this guy? Here you go. Let's start there. That's not how shows work. I don't think Warner Brothers was like, you guys got this one. I will give you a show if you keep this guy. Happenstance, things happen. It's probably was like they offered them the show and they're like, okay, this will work out. We'll put this guy over here. So they announced this week officially that the show was going to be real. It's going to happen Saturday nights, TNT. We were under the impression that the first show, June 17th, was going to be announced at the United Center, which would lead to us to believe that CM Punk was going to return at that show, kick off the show that this is the CM Punk show in Chicago. It's going to be lit. First time seeing him, all kind of things. So we were under the impression that they were going to announce on Dynamite, oh, hey, United Center, it's lit. But they didn't. They get to Dynamite. Tony's like, hey, we just announced this great thing. Here are the dates. Collision is happening. No CM Punk. They put out a flyer, a promo, and all this. No CM Punk. Then some story comes out after that there was promotional material with CM Punk, and AEW put out the word to Warner Brothers to remove all CM Punk talk. And then after that, it comes out that CM Punk was originally on it, but there's some complication with him possibly being on Collision because he wants his friend Ace Steel to be back in AEW. The perception was that, or people are saying that Ace Steel, a couple of people saying that Ace Steel has already been hired. AEW came out and said that he wasn't hired, but CM Punk was under the impression that on June 17th, he was about to show up in Chicago with his best friend, with Larry, and it was about to be a great time. He was going to be right back to normal, but AEW was like, I don't know about all that, big dog. That homie's a biter, and I'm not talking about Larry.
So, this basically, for the most part, other than the Punk stuff, like you said, went as we assumed. AEW Collision was announced at the Warner Brothers Discovery upfront. They definitely talked about how much they've enjoyed having AEW programming, how they wanted more of it. I thought it was very interesting that Warner Brothers, in their presentation, said that they were still interested in courting hardcore fans.
Yes, that was
very interesting to hear that in a Warner Brothers presentation, and not
like a presser,
not coming from Tony Khan or like anybody in the wrestling bubble, coming from the network. That was very interesting, and that makes me wonder what does that mean for Collision going forward? Like, is it going to be kind of like a no frills wrestling show? Is it going to be less stories? I don't know. But that was very interesting. That was the thing that I saw from the upfront that I was like, oh, really? But yeah, they clearly they had Jay prominent only on there. That makes me think that Jay will be on Collision. The poster itself had Joe on it, which leads to the Punk stuff that we thought, because if Punk was taken off, it seems like Punk was supposed to be in the spot where MJF is.
Yeah,
and
agree.
It seems like he was supposed to be in the spot next to Orange Cassidy. But everything else that we've heard about Collision and who Punk wants to work with over there still seems like it was intact for this announcement.
It looks like it. Yep.
Yeah. Joe was on the poster. We got the Andrade announcement.
Yep. Miro
is also there. We've got FTR is also on the poster. So this
my big homie.
Yeah, so Hobbs has been announced as well. So this still seems like the Punk show. They just haven't announced Punk.
Yeah.
Some of the other stuff around it seems like Rose is going to be involved. We already got into Brian possibly helping with the creative. That's also an interesting development. All of the stuff that we heard, other than like the elephant in the room with Punk, sounds interesting, and I'm very interested to see what the show is going to do numbers wise. I'm interested to see how they make it feel like essential programming on Saturday. How they're going to juggle that and have Rampage still on Fridays. Sometimes we see stuff like Rampage jumping to Saturday. What are you going to do with that? Like if you can't run Rampage on Friday, are you going to run 2 shows on Saturdays? What are you going to do with pay-per-views on Saturday? It's just a lot that's very interesting about this, other than the programming itself. Then when you get into the Punk stuff. So the thing that I thought was kind of crazy about this is AEW never made it seem like this was the Punk show. We never heard anything from AEW. This was all stuff from
us.
wrestling outlets that were like, this is the Punk show. It seemed like it was corroborated with a lot of people. Of course, also they announced the slate of the Collision tapings, and to be announced next week is the first taping, which of course is rumored to be where Punk will re-debut, and it's rumored to be at the United Center. It still seems like it's a United Center. You can still, if you search United Center Collision and Ticketmaster right now, you can get parking passes for it. So it seems like that goes into the report that United Center was booked for this night, and it's still booked.
Yes.
But when we get into the Punk stuff, because like I said, AEW has not played up into this at all. They have barely mentioned this guy on television. They've done some loose teases towards him here and there. The Jericho stuff teased to him, but nothing overt. And so I thought it was crazy that people going into this were like, oh, he's not on there, so something must be wrong. And it's like, well, how do we know that? How do we know that they didn't pull back and decide, all right, we're going to announce it next week? We don't know what the specifics were. Like, we just don't have enough information to know that. So then we get into when the announcement comes out, and then we start getting the ominous tweets of, oh, this is really, really bad. This sounds really bad to me.
I'm hearing a lot backstage.
I'm hearing in my ear over here. The sources are telling me. It's like, all right. So we got that, and then Alvarez tweeted that, and then we get the clip from Alvarez of him saying, I've heard that the guy's been hard to deal with backstage. He's demanding this. He's demanding that. Ace Steel is back into play. And that was the first time I heard anything about this Ace Steel situation.
Same here.
This would be the last thing that I would think about is them bringing Ace Steel back into play, because the way he exited this situation, I thought he was gone for good. I thought he was fired.
You can't bring this guy back.
Yeah, I didn't think we would hear Ace Steel and AEW and we're working together at all anytime. Not this close, and definitely not within the next year or so.
Right.
So I was like, where did this Ace Steel stuff come up from? So then we start getting more and more reports. We got the PW Insider report from Mike Johnson, where he was saying that Ace Steel was brought back in, and he referenced the same thing that Sean referenced in the Fightful Select report, where it seemed like during the meeting that he had with Jericho, Jericho mentioned the idea of bringing Ace Steel back, and then that's where it kind of rolled in from there. And So you kind of have this conflating thing going on that now you've got people that think that Punk just came in and demanded that Ace Steel be brought back, but that doesn't
Right.
seem like that was the case based on the Fightful Select report. It seems like Sean's report says that this was mentioned in a way to kind of rebuild bridges and show Punk that we're willing to work together and just move forward.
Maybe like we can, they had the meeting and we're like, in the future we can maybe talk about Ace Steel coming back.
Right. Where the confusion seems like it happened is they were willing to bring Ace Steel back, but he wasn't going to work television.
Yeah.
Now, I don't know if Punk knew that. It sounds like he found that out at the last minute. I don't know. I don't know how he reacted to it. That's also in the Fightful Select report. But then when you get from other reports, from Meltzer or this PWI thing, you get the idea that Punk is now arguing back and forth with AEW. The reason he wasn't on any of the promotional material this week is because of the Ace Steel situation. I don't know that. I can't say that for sure, but you just have so many conflicting reports. It's hard to tell what is true. Do I believe that they told him that we're willing to work with Ace Steel again and they didn't iron it out in time? Yes, because we've seen AEW do that before. We've very much seen AEW.
That wouldn't shock me.
Yeah, we've definitely seen Tony and AEW try to play both sides and try and get people to try to placate both sides, rather.
Yeah.
We've seen AEW try to placate both sides, and then it kind of ends up blowing up. Yeah, it ends up blowing up in their face. That's what happened with the Colt situation. You try to take Colt out of the situation, and instead of just telling the public, all right, this wasn't Punk's call, this was my call, you let it get too far, and then you had to come out and clean it up. And it feels like something similar is happening here, where it might not have been that he wanted Ace Steel back right away, but they gave him the option to have Ace Steel back, but then they told him, all right, well, he's not going to be on TV. He's not going to be working on Collision. And if I'm Punk, I'm looking around like, well, wait a minute. You told me that I can work with my friend again. He's going to be back. What do you mean he's not going to be on TV? What is he going to be doing then? Like, if he's going to be here, what is he going to be doing? So I could see the confusion. The Nick Hausman report also came out this week where Nick reported that Ace has been hired back for some time now. I haven't seen anywhere in what capacity he be brought back in. I saw that the Observer put up a report yesterday debunking the idea that he was going to be a producer, but I hadn't seen anywhere that he was going to be a producer. I didn't even know where that came from. That's why I'm like, it's just so much. It's so much conflicting information. You just don't know what is true. And so, yeah,
it's really hard these days too, because like everybody's an insider. Like anybody can at this point could be like, oh, I heard this too, and that gets added into the shit too.
Yeah, it was a lot. It's a lot of hearsay here. So then, out of all of that mess, we get the Punk IG responses. Now, as a fan of Punk and as somebody that doesn't take a lot of the stuff he does very seriously, I thought it was hilarious. Can't even lie.
We were in the group chat, LOL-ing.
I thought it was all very funny. But I also think he does some of this stuff in a very tongue-in-cheek way. I think people take this stuff so serious from him now because you embarrassed the company. You gave the company a pretty big black eye. And I think for a lot of fans, they haven't gotten past that.
True.
So no, they don't want to see you out here joking.
They don't want jokes. They don't care.
They want you to come out. They want you to come back and apologize and make amends. So they don't want to see you doing anything that looks messy or any smarmy humor. They don't want to see none of that. They want you to make up for what you did. And I get that. But personally, I thought a lot of it was funny. I think him coming back at Brian and saying like, look, a lot of what he's saying is misinformed and, it's just rumors, what do you say? This is the Brian Alvarez, shut the fuck up and stop talking about me challenge day one. And then he comes back later with the, I don't want to be the face of all of this like toxic clickbait that is this industry. But, when you're a king, you got to carry that crown, which I thought was a bar. And I thought all of that was very funny as well. and then he.
Oh,
then,
I only didn't like one part, I guess, because he apparently this
oh,
is all a joke too. Threw a shot at my friend. I don't like that shit.
well, do we know it was a shot at him?
I don't think so because I didn't.
that-
I saw it and I didn't think it was a shot.
So for context, for people, if you didn't see this, for context, there was a picture that was along the same lines of him posting a picture of Larry with a crown on his head, and still the joking. When you're the king, you gotta carry the crown. And with it, here, let me see if I can find it.
Mm-hmm. So I can really add some context to
Here
it.
we go. So with it, he said, Larry has been hired. He is the chief executive in charge of morsels and scraps. He actually has experience and is qualified for this position. So we are all shocked but optimistic at his hiring. Some people have taken that as a dig at Will. I don't think it was. I think it's him still being jokey joke. Maybe it is a dig at Will. I don't know. If it is, I don't know why he would do that. I don't know what's happening backstage.
That's hilarious if it is. That's where I learned. Like, okay, people are quote unquote mad, bro. That's funny. CM Punk threw a shot at our friend. If this is real, that's funny.
If that's the case, it's crazy. The guy has only been working there for what 3 weeks now.
That's hilarious.
Already thrown into the fire.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. I didn't read it as a shot at him. I don't know, but I did see people send it to me and say, "Do you think this is a shot at him?" And I was like, I don't know. I didn't read it that way. So, but anyway, the IG post. I agree with him in the IG post because look, whether you think he's causing trouble back there or not, it's hard to not see the tone in the way that Alvarez and Observer has been reporting on the Punk stuff since September. Yeah. And that's not to say that they have, ill intent here or they have like this like beef with the guy. I don't know that to be true. But I do see the tone to it, and I do see the timing to it. Every time news about this guy comes out, every time it looks like there is some optimism about him coming back or there's some forward movement, there's a negative spin or a negative report that comes from that side. And I'm not saying that it's not true. I'm just saying that every time something comes out, something gets leaked, and it's always like, oh, it's always the same doom and gloom kind of tone to it. Mm-hmm. And it felt this way. It felt the same way this time. It felt very much like, all right, he's not on the announcement for this thing. So, this is really bad. I've heard that he's back there causing all this trouble. I've heard that he's hard to deal with. And it's like, yeah, but maybe he just didn't want to be on announcement because
that's
he
where
wanted to be
I'm
announced
landing.
on the show.
Yes.
We don't know that unless I'm like, I don't know. And another part of it is, of course, when we report these things, we both know this. When you get on these podcasts and you report, what a source told you about a wrestler. I'm not a scoopster guy. I don't do any of that. I've heard things that happen over there. I've heard, all kinds of things. But as we both know, anything in journalism is a judgment call. Yep. And so it's up to you to decide what you think is pertinent information. It's up to you to decide how you want to editorialize it. All of that is on you as a personal, as the person conveying this information. So I say that to say that I don't know that I believe that Alvarez or Dave are intentionally putting out anything with a negative spin on it. But it does very much seem like whoever their sources are, very much don't like them.
They don't like them.
It seems like everybody, it seems like wherever they're getting their source from doesn't want this guy back. Mm-hmm. And it seems like the tone of all of their reports kind of revolves around that. And that's been the case for a minute, not just in September. You could go all the way back to when everything first started blowing up, when he came back and cut that promo on Hangman. They were one of the first ones to report that it was a shoot. Yep. And my thing is, why do we need to know that?
We didn't.
Because it kind of feel like it made the situation worse. And again, I get, once you have news, report it. Right?
Drop it.
It's and like I said, that's a judgment call. But again, we hear negative stuff about people all the time. Me and you have heard negative stuff about people over there. We can get on this podcast and let the chopper sing on guys, but it's not really up
some
for
of your
me.
Favorites too.
It's not up for me to decide, like, what needs to be out there about these people, because sometimes it's okay to just let it play out. Man, we just saw that with the Ricky and Swerve thing. Nobody knew that. We did. We knew that they had got into it, but that had broke after they had got together and smoothed it out. Like sometimes just let them deal with those things backstage and before it gets out. And I feel
like how different do you think that would have been if they would have gotten into the scuffle and then a day later we're all talking about it,
right? And that's why I'm
all
like,
this drama and shit.
And I feel like it's kind of the same thing with this. I feel like we could have let this thing with the Collision announcement and all of this play out the way it does. Now, if he's not on the announcement next week, and we see that it's going bad, then yeah, let the information roll from there. But it does feel like some of this stuff is much ado about nothing. Like if all of this plays out and they settle this, whatever the discourse is between Punk and the lawyers or whatever is going on over there, and he's still announced next week, then we all look kind of silly for running around with our heads cut off like, what does this mean? Oh my God, is Collision not his show anymore? Is it not on the United Center? I don't know.
Because I went on the timeline this morning and everybody has changed their tune. Everybody's back on he's going to be there. Like, hella people today were like, CM Punk's back. We can't wait. I'm like, yo, what?
This is what I'm saying. But I think the thing about it as well is that because this has been going on for so long, this has been going on since September, any update about Punk now feels like it's like, let's get it out there. Anything we can get out there because people want to know. Yeah. But I also feel like, again, it's a judgment call. You got to decide what part of this needs to be out there and what part of this is stuff that is not helping the situation. And I very much feel like a lot of stuff reported this week did not help the situation. No. Now, you also could argue Punk should stop responding to Alvarez and these people. Absolutely. I agree with that as well. But I also, like I said, can see where he's coming from. I can see where he feels like, all right, well, I'm just trying to do my best to fix this and get back on television and get back to work. You guys keep reporting things without all the information, and some of it's not true. And then when it's not true, you don't apologize to me or fix it. You just make me look crazy. But then it's just smoothed over when it doesn't happen. Like, hey, I know you can look at the Alvarez thing, for example, like the day of, and he was saying all this stuff and saying, I wouldn't be surprised if he's not announced, right? And then you get to the night and he's not announced on Dynamite. So it does look like Alvarez is right. Hey, but what if that happens and he's still on the announcment next week? Then what?
Right. Yeah.
Are the Observer going to then come back and retract that and say they were wrong? No.
0%. They don't retract shit like that. They're just gonna move on. They're gonna the narrative is that this guy is crazy. And if every time you talk about me and you're like, oh, here's this guy again, he's done it again. What do you think I'm gonna feel about it?
It looks away. And so, like I said, I do get the need to put all of this Punk information. Look, I get it as somebody that does media stuff as well. I get that Punk's name equals clicks. I get that, it's need to know. People love to talk about the guy. That's on our side of this business. It's on the fan side of the business. I get it. But I also feel like some of this stuff is not helping, man. So then we get into the Collision announcement itself and how now it's TBA, right? To be announced. And I'm of the belief that it's still going to happen at the United Center.
Yes.
Nothing feels like it's changed any of that. And so, look.
I think they're going to reconcile. CM Punk's going to be there on June 17th.
Whatever is happening over there, I think they're going to they're going to fix this by next week, and they're going to make an announcement. Now, source told us that the Daily Place story that Dave put out there and reported that that's being put out there as a backup isn't true. That's a source from within the company. They're saying that that's fake. Now, again, we have reason to believe why they would set up if you're following all of the news stories of the week, then yeah, we have all the reason to believe that they would set up a backup plan. Yeah. But again, that's not coming from them. That's coming from news outlets. Yeah. If you think that this date on June 17th is in jeopardy, then it makes sense to believe that they would need a backup. But again, we don't know all the information. This could be already sorted out. We don't know.
Nobody knows.
We don't know, but it still very much feels like to me United Center will be announced at the first episode. until we get anything else, I'm of the belief that this is still going to be the Punk show.
Yep.
Now, if that changes, I will come on this show and be like, "Dang, we were wrong. We got that wrong." Just like we got the Sasha thing wrong. It
Yep.
happens.
Mhm.
But like I said, I do think like a lot of the gossiping and speculation around this has just been ridiculous. And that's not me as a CM Punk fan saying, "Oh, don't talk about him, leave him alone." I just feel like all of this is ridiculous. I want to see the guy wrestle, and that's kind of it at this point. All of the back and forth about will he or will he not wrestle. Let's just wait until AEW makes the announcement. When they make the announcement, then we can move forward. If they decide to make an announcement in 2 weeks and go, "Hey, this guy's fired, he's never coming back," great. You guys judge that. If they make an announcement next week and say he's going to be back, that's where we're at. I am of the full belief that he'll be back.
Yes. If you ask me right now, back yes or no, I'm picking yes. I think all this shit's going to get sorted out. I don't think this one little event, because I'm not 100% sure they were like, we're going to put all the promotion going. The announcement is going to be surrounded by him too. I don't know if that even is the case. So I'm not going to be like, he's not on the promotion. It's all over. Start ringing it in. No, it could be anything, dude. Next week, they could just be like, we're going to the fucking United Center. See you guys in June.
And I think you also have to look at the fact that there are certain outlets, Observer is one of them, and I don't want people to think I'm anti-Observer. I'm not anti-Observer. I like Alvarez a lot. I think Alvarez is funny. I think his reaction to all of this stuff has been unintentionally funny because, of course, it's Alvarez. But you got to look at the fact that certain outlets have always kind of pushed the idea that he's not coming back. And so it kind of feels like they want to still steer into the idea that
they want to be right.
And I'm telling you, if you follow Dave and Alvarez from the beginning, they've been saying for the longest he's not coming back. It very clearly seems like he is. Now, every time it seems like, again, there's positive development in that side to show that he's coming back, they'll then come out and put something out. Well, look at this, and it's like,
well, I actually heard that he ain't shit. It's like, wait, what?
Yeah, I don't know. The other funny thing, of course, before we wrap up this Punk talk and get back into super chats and stuff, is I think it was hilarious that he basically said verbatim what I say on here all the time. We don't know these people, bro. We don't know CM Punk. We don't know the Elite. We don't know this stuff.
I don't know Dave. I don't know Brian Alvarez. I don't know none of these people.
So stop taking sides, man. You don't know any of these people. Taking sides and feeling like you got to defend this guy or you got to defend that guy. Like, you don't know these people and you don't know all the information. Like, it just... I don't know. I feel like at this point of 8 months of this, I'm just kind of over it. Like, it's gotten way too silly.
Every week how do they make stories out of like a little thing? Every single time it's a big thing. And I'm sure that because they're always like, oh, the narrative is now like every time they announce something big, CM Punk does something. You think he wants this shit too? Like, he's a part of this. Like, he wants to be like, he's trying to come back to the show. And if he's trying to make amends and all this, but then they're on the show being like, actually, he ain't shit. He ain't made amends to nobody. We all hate him. We don't like him. It's like, well, that's not who is that good for? And then soon as we get, people online get any morsel of things to fucking put out, we're going to go with it. Oh, we heard Alvarez said that he ain't shit. Exactly like I said, I told you, we're assured. There he is. Here he goes doing the shit again. Because I saw that all week of people being like, here's your guy. This is who you're bringing back. Look at this. But we don't even know the full story still.
This is what I'm saying. But again, that's why I'm like, it depends on where you're getting your information from. If you're getting your information from sources over there that already don't like the guy, yeah, of course they're going to steer you in that direction. It just is what it is. And again, I'm not saying that that's intentional on anybody's side. I think they are just reporting what they've heard. And Alvarez has said that many times. Like, I'm just telling you guys what I know. I'm just telling you guys what I heard. And that's fair. But again, I just think that they got to be cognizant of the tone that it comes off in, man. It just looks away, man. And the timing of it always looks a little funny style. So I get people that are like looking at them crazy, like, yo, what is this? But again, no ill will to those guys over there. Dave is Dave. There is no wrestling journalism. There is none of this without Dave.
It's Dave.
But
there probably wouldn't be this podcast if it wasn't for Dave. He created a whole element of wrestling news and shit, you know?
Yeah, I just think that man, I just the tone of all of the Alvarez and Meltzer stuff for a while has been real. It's been
Feels
real.
like Bryan and Punk want to fight for real.
I don't know what's going on. I feel like these dudes need to hash it out for real. Like, I mean, I don't know if that was the tone that Punk was sitting there eating that muffin. Like, yo, no, I'm not really talking to all of y'all. I'm really talking to Alvarez. Like,
Yeah.
yo, all of y'all can get out. I'm talking to him.
It's been some smoke. It's been some smoke for a long time, so I get it.
Yeah, and again, like the Bix thing, Bix brought up the old, because Punk also shared the email, which is a Punk thing to do, to bring this email up from years ago.
Yeah. How did you find that? He gotta have like a folder of like, I'm gonna fuck this motherfucker up folder.
Yeah, I mean, but that's Punk. Punk is the kind of guy that don't let stuff go, and he's sitting somewhere with this axe to grind with somebody that he's been holding on to for like 15 years. But yeah, when you get into that, and Biggs bringing up the Biggs bringing up that whole whatever article where he said that you got to watch him around women. Like, all of that stuff is just so, like, I don't know, man. I just want to see the guy wrestle, bro.
That's some extras. Why are we adding extras into this, bro? Like, is he gonna be at the show? Yes or no? You don't know. The person telling you that he is gonna be at the show telling you he ain't shit. Like, I don't know. Where's the helpful information at, bro?
The thing I did find funny about the Biggs thing is Biggs outright said, like, yeah, this is Punk being Punk, but I can also see why he might have a problem with you.
Yeah.
And I got that part about it, but again, I just feel like, why are we doing this?
Everybody, both sides, Punk, Alvarez, Bix, everybody, just like,
why are we doing this, man?
Come on, man.
But I mean, that's just what it is. That's this industry. That's life. People hold grudges, man.
And at the end of the day, the shit do lead to clicks, and it does work. Like, what they're doing is going to lead to fucking people talking about it. So I understand.
Absolutely. And I'm definitely sure there are people somewhere like, how dare Punk sit on IG and tell people not to have a parasocial relationship with him when a lot of his biggest stands have a parasocial relationship with him. Yes. We're all aware. But again, I think I very much think that he has a point, in the sense that, yeah, we don't know a lot of these people, and we do form these ideas and sit up and gossip about people, and we just don't know what really is true. We only know what we're being told by outlets. Like, for all we know, for all we know, man, some people that we think are great guys might not be great guys. Some guys that we think are bad guys might not be all that bad. We just don't know.
You don't know at all. Everybody's playing characters. Your favorite heel could be your favorite babyface, and your favorite babyface could be the worst motherfucker in the world. You just don't know it. Nobody knows anything. We're all just going off he say, she say. People are I get it as someone as in the position of, you know, having a podcast and shit. People are biased. There's people that take my Bray Wyatt bias and like me saying that eggs them on too, you know what I mean? So I understand if you go into the Wrestling Observer hating CM Punk and they're like throwing fuel to your fire, like, what's it gonna look like is how it ends up. And all it has to be is you have to know that he's gonna send smoke back. Don't act like it's like, well, I didn't do anything. You did something. We heard you. We saw you. You're not innocent in this situation. Everybody's wilding. Stop it.
I feel like I've made that point across the board, because this comment here is saying, why are we bringing this up? Why is he bringing? I specifically said, why are we doing any of this? Because again, like I said, that is such a Punk thing to do, is to hold a grudge and hold on to something from 15 years ago and bring it up. I don't think he should be doing that either. Like, I don't think we should be doing any of this. That's the point I'm making. I'm not saying that they shouldn't bring up anything about him.
Like, it's not okay that
it's just launched at him. I'm saying he shouldn't be doing it either. I just like, yo, if you're working towards coming back, work towards coming back. That's it.
Keep up with the gym videos. We want to see you in there getting buff and shit. We want to see you like trying to get back to it, having fun. But all this shit, we're good.
Yeah, the whole back and forth of online of will he come back, will he not come back, like all of that stuff is silly to me, because at the end of the day, I feel like those decisions have already been made.
And none of what we do or say is gonna affect that at the end of the fucking day. This is a relationship between these people involved, and let's just, as the World Wrestling Entertainment says, let it play out.
Yeah, I don't know. Let's get into some super chats.
Definitely. Deontay says, "Yo, Phil, my Insta likes aside, LOL. I'm supporting Joshi. I'm supporting Joshi Wrestling, sir. All jokes today. I see. Haha. I'm hoping for Shinsuke versus Gunther. I see belt.
Yeah, that'd be kind of dope. I'm very interested to see how this Gunther and Ali match is gonna go at the pay-per-view. I think Ali was a good choice. Yeah, and I think that's gonna be a good match.
It's not because they're gonna be over there kind of thing.
I don't know.
I'm not, Ali deserves it, but let's not do the Mansoor's gonna get the big fucking battle royal victory too. Like, I guess you could cater. Fuck it, go for it. Who cares, man? Have fun with it. Shout out to my guy Ali. The match is gonna be amazing with Gunther. Like, it's gonna be hot. I take it back. My homie Jake Salazar says, I hate that I like Grayson Waller. That's the worst part about it, Jake. I hate that. I don't know what it is about him, and I usually hate people in this position, how they came up, but something about this guy, I'm just like, Grayson Waller, man, he might be the next one over there. It's sick. Reg, your song to look up today is DVP by Pup. Who is Pup? I'm gonna be mad if it's trash, Van Twinblade. I'm gonna get your ass.
Speaking of trash, what was that Kid Cudi joint? What was that?
Oh no!
What the fuck was that, bro?
Oh no!
My man was putting action figures on the screen,
bro. He's doing the reverse rollout. I've never seen. I think Chance is the only time I can relate something as crazy as like this, like somebody putting some content out and fans just being like, absolutely not. There were fans saying, Cudi needs to retire. This is trash. What are you doing here? I'm like, this is awful. And then Cudi goes and puts out a post being like, you guys are right. I am going to put out a different single. This shit is trash. Cudi, I don't know what that techno bullshit was that you was playing with MO and the action figures, but I'm happy you pivoted because, whoo, what? Please. But yeah, crazy situation. The homie undropped.
I kind of think he was trolling, honestly.
You think so?
I don't think he ever planned to release that as a single.
Okay.
I think that was just a way to market the album and market the real single.
It worked.
Because I refuse to believe that was a real single.
That's a crazy rollout, Phil. Like, I'm going to market it with a shitty song that everyone's going to hate. That's how you get them to come back?
Maybe. I don't know.
That's
but that clip was so bad. I refuse to believe that was actually the single. That was horrible.
No, I've heard some Soundtrack to My Life. Mr. Rager, Kid Cudi can do it. I don't know what the
was. Yeah, that was not it at all.
Shout out to Cudi though. He's a good guy. Not the first, but one of the very few rappers to bring in mental health into hip hop. I thought was very important. He plays a very important role in the transition of where hip hop is today. So don't let him get you down too crazy. That single was some shit though.
That was awful. I mean, my favorite rapper don't like him, so
that's another story for another. Lupe got smoke for him. Smoke. Brent Lockman says, first time catching live in too long, gentlemen. Hope the Saturday is going awesome. So what do y'all want them to do with Andrade?
I want to just be in some good storylines. Get him in some fresh matchups too. Hopefully, if the TNT title is a fixture on Collision, I would like to see him be one of the guys that's in contention for that belt.
Yeah. He it's tough because his tag team partner has been cooking so hard. Like Roosh came in and just like on display this week against Jack Perry. He like plays the role that I want Andrade to be in. And it's like, well, damn, Roosh is there. But I guess like having two of those is going to be great. I think Andrade is such a dynamic, tremendous wrestler, though, is that he's one of those guys that when he comes back, we're going to forget about all the shit. We're going to forget about everything that's happened before this. We're just going to be like, oh, damn, we forgot. This guy is incredible.
Yeah, I do think he's gonna add to the LFI stuff too. Because I like Roosh and Preston together, but I think once they get Andrade back and they have like a defined leader, it's gonna make that stable more interesting, and it's gonna make anything that you do with them story wise better. Because I mean, we saw that this week with the Bloodline stuff. I think 2 weeks in a row having Roman back has drastically improved the
vastly
bloodline.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, I feel like it was meandering for weeks, but now that he's back, it's definitely back on track. But this just shows that I don't. No matter how you stretch it, you know, Sammy was making it interesting for a while when he was away, but the bloodline, you know, kind of hinders on Roman being on television.
Roman, it's his fucking stable. It's like it's built off that. It doesn't work if he's not there. If we're like, well, what's Roman gonna think? No, we need to hear what he's gonna see what he's gonna think. On the thing of Andrade and Roosh versus FTR for the AEW Tag Team Championships, yo, I'm signing me all the way up. Like that's another part of Collision that I think is going to be interesting if FTR is going to have a prominent role over there is building the tag team championships. Maybe we leave the trio championships on Dynamite, so we're having two kind of different divisions. But I think, you know, as always, AEW has one of the best tag team divisions in the world. So we start getting these guys all back and storylines in another place that they could build that tag team division even greater. I think it's going to be lit over there.
Speaking of tag divisions, the stuff last night. The stuff last night with the Hardys and Ethan Page was surprisingly very, very funny.
Yeah.
Ethan Page coming out and basically being like, "Nah, Zay, I'm closer to you than those guys are. You know, who told you those girls were cute? Who told you to keep doing that moan gimmick?" All of that stuff was hilarious.
Yeah, I loved it. I love. And is this thing with Zay? Is it a? Do we know if this is a shoot? He had the neck brace on, or is he selling the energy?
Yeah, because they Pillmanized his neck, so it seemed like that's a work. It seems like a way to get him out of the pay-per-view match. Well, is it?
Oh, true.
Match? It's next week's match.
No, it's a buy-in. I think they're going to be on the buy-in.
Yeah, so it's the way to get him out of that match and probably have like a surprise guest in that match.
Oh, I didn't think about that.
So my guess, if because it could be Mark Quinn coming back.
Okay, yeah.
But if it's not Mark, what if it's Scorpio? Because
the reason on the other side.
The reason I thought about that is because he made a point of saying like, no, we're close. We should be a tag team, and that's when he said, "What do you call it?" What did he say? Called it the tag team is like moaning something.
Moan event.
Moan event. Which is hilarious too.
Yeah.
But yeah, when he mentioned the tag team thing, I immediately thought about Scorpio, and so when he took him out, I was like, oh, Scorpio's probably going to be on the other side with the Hardys. And so, yeah, maybe Scorpio's going to take his place in that match, the 6-man match. Maybe Mark's coming back, but I kind of think it's going to be Scorpio now.
Interesting. I didn't think about Scorp. That's a great angle to take there, and it's kind of an easy way to ease Scorpio back into everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But yeah, this was the first Rampage in a while that I thought this was a good Rampage. Like I haven't been into Rampage for like a month.
Yeah.
And I thought a lot of angles and stuff they did on Rampage this time around actually felt like essential to AEW programming.
It did.
It felt like you missed something if you missed this Rampage because you missed the Jade stuff,
Honestly,
which I thought was really good. I thought this made me want to see Jade do a gauntlet match. Like just lining up the women to have her come out and getting the 59th win, and the way that they've built up to the Taya match, I think is interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I think the Taya match at the pay-per-view is going to be good. And I thought the main event angle with Swerve and Keith Lee was really good too.
Yep. Yeah, they did do a lot this Rampage to kind of keep the things moving along. I love the Mogul Embassy angle at the end. They looked brawling call at the end. They looked like one of them teams that not gonna really want to fuck with. I'm excited to see it.
They look like a wrecking crew, and I think Swerve finds a way to make that stomp look good and dangerous every time now.
Him riding Keith's chest was crazy.
Yeah, I thought that was really good. I hope that they put Keith and Swerve on the pay-per-view because I think that we've been waiting for the end of that feud for a while, and I think they should get that pay-per-view match. Hopefully, that's where that one-on-one match is coming. We did not talk about Roddy versus Jericho yet. I was going into this match thinking this was just going to be like a quick nothing match. Jericho was just going to beat Roddy and put him away. We actually got this great no falls count everywhere match, and we saw Adam Cole and Roddy literally put Jericho in the dirt. I was like, yo.
They made Jericho touch grass in real life. This is crazy out here. No, I didn't. Honestly, I didn't really expect the reception that this match got. After Dynamite was over, people were like, this match was it. This match went off. I mean, no one's really surprised here. We know Roderick Strong is one of the best wrestlers in the world. This is kind of the reason why we wanted him to be over here, because we knew that he was going to come in and make an immediate impact here. And, you know, Jericho, not for nothing, Jericho could be on some shit sometime, but when it's time to really fucking go, he could go. And I think having the false count anywhere stipulation helped a lot. Them pinning on top of the stairwell and all that shit with Aubrey and like getting people hot, then getting outside and the dope shot with Adam Cole standing right behind him, fucking throttling his ass. They're eating ice cream throughout the thing. Like, this was a really fun match and something I didn't really expect. I'm super excited for Roderick Strong. Another element, like, he could also be on Collision too. Like, I think there's a lot of these pieces that we don't even know about that are gonna be able to get shine. Having two shows, I think really big shows, if they can really put the emphasis on Collision being a big show and not just another bullshit show. If they could have it be a viable number 2 to Dynamite, I think it's going to benefit for a hell of wrestlers that they have there.
Yeah, I mean, I think we both were like not enthused about Jericho feuding with Cole.
Yeah.
But I can admit that this feud has been good. I've been enjoying it. I think the angle with Britt they did was good. I thought this week's stuff was really good. The match was good. Having the reveal of Cole being behind him, like Keith behind him, at NXT. I thought the stuff they did on Rampage made sense leading up to the unsanctioned match. I've been enjoying it. Now, hopefully, I think it ends at the pay-per-view.
This is it.
I don't want it to keep going, but everything so far, I've been enjoying it.
Yeah, I could see it. I could see it ending after the pay-per-view because I can maybe see where they're gonna go with Jericho after this. Ricardo surname redacted says Max should detour and murder Max for dissing Renee. Oh, Mox should detour. I couldn't see that. Mox should detour and murder Max for dissing Renee.
Yeah, nah. We're gonna see him walking up that ramp like Will Smith in a minute. What you doing?
You fucking with the wrong one, Max. Like, I don't think you want to be. You see Mox, he is crazy. You don't care. He be doing that stuff for fun. Imagine trying to protect his wife. Honestly, this is Chaos Control. Honestly, I'm tired of all these Punk stories. That's not aiding in anything. Like you said, the timing that these stories are dropping is crazy.
Yeah.
It's annoying, but next week will really show us where this is going. With this announcement, whatever they say the Collision is going to be is going to determine a lot, and I think that's where we're going to find out what the hell's going on here. So that's Punk does it again.
Punk does it again.
I'm gonna get these guys to talk for an hour about me.
Punk does it again. I don't think we have any more super chats. I'll refresh it, but if we don't, we can get into let me see if it's refreshing.
Women's tag team
women,
championships, maybe.
Yeah, we don't have any super chats, so we can get into the next topic. Liv Morgan is injured.
What the hell's wrong with her?
They haven't announced like what is the injury yet. Unless I'm wrong, I haven't seen it anywhere.
I haven't either.
But yeah, Liv Morgan's injured. They just announced last night that she will not be back in time, so she is going to vacate her tag title. There will be a fatal 4-way for the new titles on the Monday Night Raw after Night of Champions, which is May 29th.
Mm-hmm.
It's the day after Double or Nothing.
Yep.
And so the teams are Raquel and a mystery partner, Damage Control, which will consist of Io and Bailey because Dakota is injured as well. We've got Chelsea and Sonya as the other team, and what is the fourth team?
Ronda and Shayna.
That's right. Ronda and Shayna is the fourth team because Ronda returned this week, which that.
Her ninja kick, man. I feel sorry for Ronda because it's like if that they got their shit up, like having Shayna standing by her made it look badass, but like that just her spalling. It's like she can never just have a moment fully be a moment. There always has to be one thing that gets in the way.
The kick, and then it looked like she like twisted her ankle, and then she just like slid back up afterwards, and like it was. It looked the gif of it going around is so funny. Ronda Rousey is back. Every time Ronda does something now, it's just crazy to think about where Ronda was and how big of a deal she was and where she is now. It just feels like now when she comes back, it just feels like a thing that happened. It doesn't feel like newsworthy anymore.
It's like, oh, Ronda's back, cool.
But yeah, the kick happened. We got the beatdown of Raquel. I thought Shayna did the heavy lifting in that beatdown to make it look believable and cool because Shayna's just cool and she's a great heel. But yeah, so either way, we're gonna have new women's tag champions. The thing I thought it was interesting about this when they announced the field was that neither of the women that were called up from NXT are in this match. And both of them are former women's tag team champions. I was
one of them are current NXT tag team women's tag team.
Of course. So I immediately when they announced the match, I was like, okay, well maybe they'll put the other tag champions in it and just merge the belts. Nope. They're just still on the main roster with the belts. Kaden and Katana Chance are also just there. They're not in the match.
And then last night on SmackDown, they had another tag team from NXT. What's the homegirl? Ulisa and the Latina tag team. They had them on there. I'm like, okay, so you're gonna take all the tag teams from NXT, but then not use any of them in the.
I don't get it, man. I don't get what they're doing. So, yeah, so one way or
who's
another,
gonna be Raquel's partner? You think? Aaliyah. Ugh.
Maybe Aaliyah's coming back. That is a good shot because Aaliyah's been out since last year, right? Maybe it's Aaliyah. Oh, that makes the most sense.
Who's gonna win? Ronda and Shayna.
I think it's probably gonna be Ronda and Shayna. I think it's time to move Raquel on to singles wrestling. But I mean, yeah, I don't know if it's not Aaliyah. She's tagged with Shotzi before. Maybe it's Shotzi. Who else did she tag with? She tagged with Dakota, of course, but Dakota's injured. Yeah, if I had to guess, it's probably Aaliyah or Shotzi.
I'm like, what brand is Charlotte on? Where's she at? No, she's on SmackDown, huh?
That would be kind of wild if it was Charlotte. But yeah, now these titles do feel like they're just. It's in this situation, man. You just can't get right with these titles, man. It's always one thing after the other. And again, it's not on the part of the women. That the women are trying their best to make these titles matter, and they're trying to put on good matches. Speaking of which, I thought the women's tag match from Dynamite was very good.
Oh yeah, that was tight. Mm-hmm.
If anything, and this is not just me being a Sheeta fan, I think that Sheeta has drastically improved the Outcast versus Homegrown story.
She has.
It's just been so much better with her back. Her new music is great. The gear she rocked on Wednesday was great. Crowd is clearly into her. Yeah, super into it. But I feel bad because I really want to invest in these titles, but they just don't give us anything. They don't give us any real storylines with the
Doesn't
belts.
matter.
They don't really invest the time to build teams. So when we get to teams, it just feels like they're thrown together and we're supposed to support them. They're just not doing the work to build a tag division. So it seems like every time one of these unfortunate mishaps happen, which is redundant, every time one of these mishaps happens, it's just like, yeah, this just feels like that's it. It's gloom and doom. Throw the belts in the trash. But that's a byproduct of them not doing the work to really build a division. Like this injury wouldn't be that big of a deal if they've actually like had contenders built already and they had teams that we were interested in. Because to be honest with you, I'm not that interested in Raquel and Liv as a team anyway. Like,
no, off rip.
I mean,
I didn't even know why they were champions.
Yeah, I think it was just a way to get the belts off of Lita and Becky and move that storyline forward with her and Trish. But other than that, I don't really understand why they were champions. I'm not invested in them at all.
That's why I need either Ronda and Shayna or Damage Control to win these belts, because at least they have been tag teams together. They're not a thrown together team. I guess Chelsea and Sonya are trying to build, but they're just getting started. We need to get this on an established women's tag team, and we need to have stories, and we need to have them defend these belts. And we honestly just need to fucking merge these belts with these NXT tag team champions to have women and on every, because you don't have enough sustainable tag teams on any one brand for you to have the women's tag team championship. So it just needs to be everywhere. But yeah, it's Sasha and Mercedes and Trinity are looking like, of course, like they're taking another victory lap. It's been 5 or 6 victory laps at this point of them being like, look, we're doing this. They might be, titles might be worse off than when they fucking set them down in that office a year ago. Like, what the hell's happened here? And they took Bailey and Sasha to the fucking, to the stables when they were apparently crying over the belts or whatever. All these things connected to these tag team championships. And it looks like it's apparent that they don't care about these belts, or I don't know what the hell is going on with this.
Yeah, that's the other interesting news about the tag division. It's been a year now since Sasha and Trinity left. Which it doesn't seem like it's been a year, but it's been a year since they left the division. There's also like that news. Well, it's really like a rumor that they're talking about bringing Iconics back. Have you seen that?
Oh, I haven't seen this.
I don't know if there's any truth to it, but it's a rumor floating around out there that there might be talk of the Iconics coming back. I don't know if they're still in a contract with Impact.
I know one of them had a baby, right? That's why they were out.
Cassie.
But because I remember they had signed with Impact right before this had went down. So I don't know if they're still locked in over there.
Yeah, I think they decided to take some time off of wrestling before Cassie got pregnant.
Oh, that's right. But yeah, good move. If that's real, I think that's a good move for them. They were always, I'd never really even understood why they were released. I thought they were a great team. Hella funny. Anytime I watch their clips again, I'm like, yo, these are like, how could you get rid of these people? Like, they were good. Billie Kay is like, yo, like, how do you not have Billie Kay in the show? She's so fucking hilarious. Like, I don't really get it. So yeah, they would be a great addition if that is truly going to happen.
I don't know how true it is, because again, I don't know what their contract status is with Impact. I had to imagine they didn't finish that contract because they weren't there that long. So I don't know if that's true or not, but I did see that rumor floating around. I don't know if that's just something fans started. Look at me doing the Alvarez thing. Fans.
Oh, wow. Starting rumors. Now it's going to be on Reddit. Phil Lindsey on Grapsody says that comics are coming back.
No. I have no scoop here. The only thing that I guess I reported that I've only seen us report is that the backup plan for Daly's Place is not a real thing.
Daly's Place is not real. That's some online rumor started by somebody. It's very easy to get those these days. So you can get traction on a stupid ass tweet so easily. I don't really understand it, but that's just the time we're in. But yeah, really unfortunate for this tag team champions. I hope we can get this shit together. I hope that the winners could get a nice proper run with this. And hope that Liv Morgan's okay. They haven't said anything about Liv Morgan. If they're making her vacated, it means that she's going to be out for at least in a little extended period of time.
Yeah. Yeah. I hope she's okay, man.
Injuries, man.
You never want to see anybody go down with an injury.
And Dakota too, if she's whatever she's dealing with, we are huge Dakota Kai fans over here at Grapsody. So shout out to Dakota too. Like both of y'all ladies are an inaugural part of that division and are needed all the time and over here. So get well soon and come back. Let's get these tag team championships going. Let's get the new World Heavyweight Championship going. Let's get that belt off of Roman. Let's do this. I'm tired of it. It's crazy out here.
Yeah. How are you feeling about this card for Double or Nothing? Because now that we have like more and more matches announced to it, it looks like we got a main event. We got the Anarchy at the arena.
Mm-hmm. I like it. I think those two matches are going to be great. I thought we're going to be paying off some more feuds like Ricky and Jay and Swerve and Keith. I'd like to see something like that get announced. And they haven't announced any of like the Double or Nothing staples like Casino Battle Royal or anything like that. So I'd be super interested to see how they finish it out. But I think it's going to be a great show. I think those two matches at the top paired with I think Ty and Jade is going to be really good and going on there. And we haven't talked about the other women's title because this week they had announced that Jamie Hayter was going to be a part of the tag match. Was actually going to be a 6-woman tag match, but they made it a tag team match because it was announced that Jamie Hayter is actually out on the injured list and couldn't make it to the match. And it's possible that she might not be able to make it to the pay-per-view, I heard. So I don't know. The injury is supposed to be pretty bad, I guess. Like if they
I hadn't heard that.
Yeah, apparently like she couldn't even be out for like a second or like manager role. Like it's bad. Like she has to, like something's going down. So Double or Nothing's very soon, but this week on Dynamite, Tony Storm put out a challenge to Jamie Hayter saying, I'm trying to get the title match at the pay-per-view Double or Nothing, and I want to be the champion again. So interesting developments. We don't know anything too extra about Jamie Hayter and her injury, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull off a match here on the pay-per-views next week. It's in a week, so I don't know what's going to happen there, but I think the card's pretty good in comparison. The Night of Champions card is not that bad either. I was just looking at that since that's also next week, and they're going to try to impede on our damn Grapsody time. I don't even know actually where we're going to. We haven't hammered out exactly because we're going to be in Vegas next week for Double or Nothing weekend. Live and in color, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen there.
Yeah,
guess we should figure that out.
We'll figure it out. We will be in Vegas. I don't know where we're gonna record, but I think both of those cards are coming together nicely. I chuckled last night because I said, man, boy, they actually have a build for this Asuka and Bianca match this time.
Hey!
It actually feels like there's some story here. It's actually more interesting than what they were doing with the WrestleMania build.
I like the angle last night.
Yeah. And I kind of feel like now that the angles for Double or Nothing are coming together as well. Probably not going to get that casino match now because it's probably going to get replaced by the International Championship. I was about to say.
Oh, that's right. They did announce that this week. Yeah,
we're getting a Blackjack Battle Royal, so we're probably not going to get one of those where it looks like we'll have 21 men in that match, including Orange, fighting for the International Championship.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and then they also announced a ladder match with, I don't know if they announced it officially, but Christian and Wardlow. So yeah, this is shaping up to be they're mixing it up with some variety. There's going to be some different people on the card. It's going to be super interesting to see how it rounds out. And I'm interested to see who's going to be in that Blackjack 21 person 21 person battle royal. Orange Cassidy has been on a crazy run. They announced next week he's going to wrestle Kyle Fletcher at Dynamite for the international championship. No, that's going to be another crazy banger on the way. Dynamite shaping up next week. They announced some dope shit going on there, and I potentially might be out there. I don't know. We'll see what's going on there. We're all going to be in Vegas next week for Double or Nothing, though, at the end of this. So I'm excited. It's going to be our second Double or Nothing in a row. Vegas is going to be hot as hell. Who's going to be in Vegas? Bring your shorts and your tank tops because you're going to burn your little face off. Just like last year. It's going to be awful.
Yeah. Speaking of which, you're probably gonna see. Well, not probably. You are gonna see Will Washington before I am because you guys are going to be at the New Japan show tonight.
Tomorrow.
No, that's right. Tomorrow. Today. Tomorrow's the 21st.
Yeah.
So yeah. Probably wrap up and getting into New Japan Resurgence.
Yes.
It's looking like that's gonna be a fun show.
Mm-hmm.
Of course, the big excitement for me is possibly getting Willow versus Mercedes on this card in the tournament. Yeah, in the tournament for the New Japan Strong Women's Championship. But yeah, this all around looks like a fun show. The tournament, of course, we're assuming it's going to be Willow versus Mercedes because they both have preliminary matches, but I mean, that's the best option for the finals. At least I'm hoping that that's where this leads. So yeah, man, I'm excited for this. What else are you excited for on the card?
I mean, that's where we're going to start off rip. I mean, there's potential that Mercedes is going to leave with the new women's championship, which is just amazing to see. I'm going to be super stoked to be in there. But any of the if Willow happened to pull off the victory, I'd be crying too. Like any of that could be really dope. But I mean, the U.S. championship, the U.S. title tournament, Tanahashi and Will Ospreay are wrestling tomorrow. Ospreay has been off on a break. It's good to see him return here. Tanahashi's always amazing to see. This has great implications. I don't care if I know the outcome of this. I want to see Will Ospreay and Kenny Omega go for it again. So let's have Ospreay get these matches, get these victories, and it's gonna be super lit. Also on the card, huge six. Oh, what you got?
I've been thinking that I think that's why the Don promo got cut off because he couldn't tell us who he's working with yet because I think that's in the build to Forbidden Door because I think he's definitely working with Ospreay.
I feel like we maybe potentially could get a little Don Callis sighting tomorrow at the show. Also, there's going to be a big 6-man tag. Okada, Ishii, and Rocky Romero against Jon Moxley, Shooter, and Yuta in an amazing match. Get to see Jon Moxley back in New Japan wrestling, and anytime I get to see Okada, and he's going to be on the other side of Okada. It's going to be super interesting to see Okada's trajectory going into this summer's events. What's he going to do as Forbidden Door? Is it going to be anything beyond that? I'm super interested to see, and to see them mix it up right here is going to be cool. There was a lot of talk this week. Feel like everybody was talking. Tanahashi was talking. Moxley was talking. They're talking about their Forbidden Door match. They were talking about every time somebody talks about Jon Moxley, you just we all know how die hard and bloodthirsty he is for professional wrestling. But when you see other people reiterate it and say no, this guy cares so much about pro wrestling and he's such a great wrestler and I had so much fun in the match with him, it's amazing to see. And Moxley on the other side being I was in a match with Tanahashi. It's amazing. I loved it so much. I haven't even watched it again. I don't want to put any kind of anything on it. And so it's just so awesome to see. And then also Kenta and Hikuleo are going to wrestle for the Strong Openweight Championship, which I think is going to be awesome. Great card. I don't know if Zack Sabre Jr. has been announced though, but Zack Sabre Jr. has been on a crazy run. If you haven't watched this week's Ring of Honor, there's a Zack Sabre Jr. and AR Fox New Japan World TV title match that's just amazing, so phenomenal. Please go back and watch it. But yeah, gonna be out there with Will Washington tomorrow, man. I'm excited.
I think Zack Sabre is in a tag match, if I remember correctly. He's in a tag match with Bad Dude Tito.
Oh yeah.
I forget who they're wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Here. Why don't you just pull up the card?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. So he TMDK, Bad Dude Tito and Zack Sabre Jr. are wrestling Barbaro, Cavernario, and Virus. So
Oh,
yeah.
nice. Damn, that's gonna be a good match.
We've also got Alex Coughlin versus Christopher Daniels on this card.
Mm.
Got that's right. The Juice Robinson promo is to
Oh
to the
yeah.
match with Fred Rosser on this
Mm-hmm.
card. Yeah. So yeah, this looks like it's gonna be a fun show.
Yeah, this is all going down in Long Beach, LBC, California tomorrow at the Walter Pyramid, I guess. Tickets are still on sale. Like I said, me and Will Washington are going to be there watching this show. Potential to a big moment happening with Mercedes. There's a lot of dope stuff that could potentially happen here. Always great to see a New Japan show in America. It's kind of crazy to see some of the greatest professional wrestlers of all time, Okada and Tanahashi, just like in some tiny place in LA.
Wait, is that true? Is the Zack Sabre match on YouTube?
Oh, I guess
that's dope as it is. That Zack Sabre AR Fox matches on YouTube. You could check that out for free.
Watch it.
If you have not seen the Trinity debut, I believe that's also on YouTube. You can watch that in full for free. And I think she definitely showed people that she's got a lot to offer Impact. I thought that was a great match.
You were there for that match, right?
Yeah, I saw it in person. I watched it again last night just to get a refresher on it. Really good match. I think that she showed that she's still every bit as athletic. Closing out the match with the Starstruck, that's what she's calling the submission move now. I thought it was dope, and I'm looking forward to her versus Giselle Shaw at Under Siege.
Oh yeah, that's next Friday too. A very busy weekend next week.
3 pay-per-views next week.
Oh my god!
Wow.
All the companies are going back to back to back. Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. That's crazy. And Trinity announced more dates that she's going to be working. She has a nice little thing going on here very soon with Impact Wrestling, which is great to see. Great debut. Love the little factoid that they put out that said that Mercedes was actually the one that brought all the glow sticks for the fans.
Yeah,
it's just like,
dope.
Come on, man. Like
man.
friends
Team
supporting
effort.
friends, like being at the San Jose New Japan show and Bailey being there and all these people to support Mercedes and seeing her do the same thing for Trinity and telling Punk to show up at the show and like all this like cool stuff. She just like really just going there to be a fan for her friend. And it's been amazing to see that. We talked for a long time about Mercedes, but now for it to switch over to Trinity and her doing her thing in Impact, it's great to see. Future Impact Women's World Champion. Come on, let's just keep it real over here. Like we know what time it is. So yeah, shout out to Trinity making her Impact debut. She's making a splash. She has the match with Giselle Shaw coming up next Friday, and I think it's just up from here from her. She's gonna learn a lot more because you got to think about it. She was in the WWE system this is the first time she's known any other wrestling company. And when did she debut? Like 2008 or 9, like 10 or something. It's been like more than 10 years of her being in one system, and to go to another system that's totally different, different set of producers, total different ring, total different audience. Everything is completely different than a year ago when she last wrestled. So for her to be able to take that and to continue to move forward, it's just great to see, man. Shout out to Trinity. I'm glad that she wrestling didn't, because after what her and Mercedes went through, a lot of people would probably just said, fuck all this shit. Like, I'm out of here. Like, I'm not about to deal with this. I'm not about to go to another company and deal with this shit. I'm just tired of it. But for her to take all that, take all the slander, all this bullshit, and, move forward into where she is now is dope.
Yeah. She talked about that a little bit, about how she was really down on herself for a minute, and how, that was like one of the lowest periods of her career. So it's really good to see her come back and see the support she got, not just from her peers, but from the fans. I'm really excited to see, how the run with Impact goes.
From the fans.
fans.
Hella funny. We got a super chat from Jake. Yay, Yuta. I just want Danielson and Okada. Yeah, Danielson and Okada would be pretty insane. Danielson and Zack Sabre Jr. that people have been talking about for a long time. Danielson and Osprey. Like Danielson and Danielson and everybody in the world. There's still so many great matches I think that he's locked into. It's going to be interesting to see because we haven't seen him wrestle. When's the last time we even saw Bryan Danielson in a match? Like it's been some. Has he wrestled after the Iron Man match even once?
I don't think he has. I don't think he's been in a match since Revolution.
Wow. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting to see. Hopefully he's okay, first of all, and it's going to be interesting to see if he, gets locked into this creative role. Is he going to play less of a in-ring role? Is he gonna try to get locked into that? Because we know, we talked to Jade before, and she said that she's gotten help from him. We know that he's back there working. People say that he shows up early to get in the ring with wrestlers. Like this is probably just continuing what he's been doing already as a wrestler. But it's gonna be interesting to see, is he gonna have less in-ring time to focus more on that? Because we still got a lot of great matches, and all the matches that he did leading up to Revolution and then doing the Revolution matches, like, no, we're not done with you yet, Brian. So
yeah. Is that all for super chats?
I think that's the bottom of the super chats.
Let me check and see if we got any more humpers. Get your last super chats and humper chats in.
Mm-hmm.
Wrap this joint up. We've been here for 3 hours.
Classic.
Okay, the last one I see here from the Humper Chats is from Black Phoenix Brand, also in reference to that Greatest Beats list from a couple weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
I'm willing to say C Murder's Down for My Niggas belongs on near top 10 as well.
Okay.
That is true.
I'm not mad at it. Down for My Niggas is hard.
That is an all-time great hip-hop beat.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not mad at it.
Yeah, that list was trash. I would put that over some of the... a bunch of beats on that fucking list. Like Down for My Niggas is one of them. No Limit was going crazy. Cash Money was going crazy, but No Limit was also going crazy.
No Limit had a run, bro. They was putting out those colorful plastic
oh my
covers,
god,
man.
what a time.
With like all the glittering foil all over it, man. Like, yo, that was definitely a time, man.
Shout out to my cousin Damaris, because he had all I would be like, where did you even find this No Limit? He had like this is a Master P's little cousin's brother's sister. I'm like, how did you where did you even find this? Do they have this in store? He had like all the No Limit shit. He was not playing around. So it was a really dope time to be able to go through and listen to Cain and Abel or fucking
yeah. That was a time period where you had to buy music, man. I'm old enough to remember where it wasn't just streaming and you had to like show up every Tuesday for new music and buy physical discs. And I definitely was one of those people that had a ton of those No Limit discs. A lot of this stuff in retrospect wasn't good, but time period, man.
Great marketing plan to be able to have a record label and to be able to get people to buy whatever you put out. Like any rapper that I put out, y'all are gonna buy this shit. Like that's a great time. Like when Bone Thugs got crazy and they started having like the Mo Thugs family, and it's like, I don't know if I want to pay for all of your homies. Like I love the core of this, but like, like your homie from across the street that can spit and you want to put them on. I'm not trying to hear this shit, man. I'm like, where's Crazy? Where's Busy?
Yeah.
Where's P?
It definitely was a weird ratio, because you get a handful of good discs in there. Like you get the mystical discs in there, you get like Mia X or something, but then like you get all the rest of the stuff in there that just wasn't good.
It's too much. I love the marketing department. I love that you have all these artists. I love that they're getting put on. And some people are probably like going gold and shit just because they're on this label.
Just because they were affiliated. Yep.
It's crazy, man. Beautiful time. Short Source Magazine, XXL. It used to be a different time in hip hop. I'm still that's the angle I want to get into, is hip hop writing and publication. And it's just like the game is so muddy that's like, where do you even start? I've been looking at LL Cool J's Rock the Bells, because I think I like how he's taken that brand and trying to kind of transformed it into like a golden era of hip hop like thing. Like the tour that they're gonna have is kind of attached to it. So I don't know, man.
Yeah, I think that tour, the promotion and everything for it is really dope. We made fun of rollout on here because it was crazy to see him doing like the walking through the stadium. He had like a whole vignette for it.
It was The Rock. It was the Rock rollout.
It was definitely a Rock rollout. But no, I think the idea for the tour and everything is dope. So I'm definitely looking forward to seeing people that go. I don't know. I might do some concerts this year. I've been still getting back out to shows since COVID, which is crazy because I've been to wrestling shows.
You have been too.
It's something about being shoulder to shoulder to people at a concert. Different at a concert. Still feels. Yeah, I'm still not comfortable yet, but I might try to get out to some shows this year.
And we can, and all the shows that I go to, you can smoke blunts in there, and I can't. If somebody passes me a blunt, I'm gonna puff on it. I can't, dude. I just can't. I can't. Oh, it's a blunt. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna smoke this.
Oh no, leave that over there.
You know what I mean? And I just can't. Like, I think I just. It's a crazy time. I am also interested in getting back out there into some shows, though. You got that Chance the Rapper show coming up, so I'm super jealous of you. Are you gonna try to go to that?
I might go to that. It's in August, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I might go to that. Those Drake tickets are stupid, but it's Drake. I thought about possibly going to that. I don't know.
Oh, right. Before we leave, did you listen to Beyonce and Kendrick? Because Kendrick apparently threw shots at Drake on this song.
I did not, but he's been throwing shots at Drake for a minute. Drake keeps throwing subs at him too, so it doesn't surprise me. Mm-hmm. I haven't heard it though.
It's I don't know. It's okay. It's Drake and it's Kendrick and Beyonce. I didn't love Beyonce's last album. I don't really be listening to Beyonce like that.
I thought the last album was fire. You talking about the newest album?
Yeah. No, I know that people like it, but I don't like. I'm not listening to Beyonce in my car. I know I love it. She's amazing. She's great. I would go to watch her concert right now.
You're not doing the Cuff It challenge?
No, absolutely not. I'm cuffing shit. No, but yeah, Kendrick raps.
You don't feel like falling in love?
Yes, I do. I don't want Beyonce to force me to do it, but yeah, he's throwing shots at Drake on there. They need to just I guess like for Kendrick, you have to, because Drake is number one. Like Drake's the biggest rapper in the world. When he does his thing, it's fucking Drake. So I guess you have to throw shots and be like, I'm that nigga. But it's like, what is it really gonna get you? Like,
yeah, no, it's entertainment, man. It's theater, man. It's Alvarez and Punk throwing shots at each other. IG and him jumping on the Observer newsletter to do it.
Facts. That's what it is.
Yo.
Yes.
But you know what it is, man. It's been another great Saturday with you, man. Still rocking strong. Don't let anybody tell you that your boys is not out of here.
And leave our friend the fuck alone. Quit adding him in fake shit. That's how we're gonna end the podcast. Don't add my friend in fake shit saying that he did something when he didn't. Fucking photoshopping bullshit. Photoshopping things, acting like, oh, he did this. Now you got your little cronies going back 17 years and 18 years and shit, trying to find stuff on my bro because you think, what is this going to prove? Like, what do you gain from this? Shout out to Snoop Dogg. What the fuck is this?
What? Nah, get out of here, bro.
Fucking bullshit. Keep that shit to yourself. That tribalism bullshit. You can fuck off with it. Leave my friend. Grapsody. Bitch. We them ones. Philip Lindsey, Righteous Reg, every Saturday on Fightful. Bring that shit and we're gonna throw it the fuck out of here.
Yo, yeah. Yeah, leave our friend alone, man. He stop making up stuff about the guy, man. Stupid. All of it is stupid. I'm not a big fan of those botch accounts anyway. It's dumb. Leave our friend alone, man. This is, you know what it is. This has been Grapsody. I'm Phil Lindsey. This is Righteous Reg. We'll see you next time. Peace.
Peace.